Can't believe I shaved my dick for this.
Hey Chad, I hope you can hear me alright. Wingus Dingus, how are you, man? Good to see you in chat. Alright, let me make sure that I am not looking off to the side of the screen for whatever reason. There we go, that's better. Right, cool. One of these days I gotta figure out how to highlight comments. Weird. Oh, anyway. Alright, welcome folks. Hope you're doing well, Wingus Dingus. I see you in the chat there. So we're gonna start with a little bit of Psychonauts soon. Hey, Michael Coulter, how you doing, man? Hey, so, yeah. Oh, wait.
The more the magicer!
Hey, Patty Quinn. Nice to see you popping by.
The more the magicer!
Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of reactslop. Basically, we're just going to retry last week's reactslop since nobody could hear anything that was going on. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to jump into Psychonauts. Alright, so let's jump into it. Alright, hopefully this time everything works. Let me know if the music's too loud. Alright, so this is a video by a dude who goes by Moon. Talking about how streaming is well, title of the video is Streaming is a Scam, Piracy is Back. So yeah, basically we're just going to be talking about how streaming services are dying, thankfully, since most of them are terrible, and that people are actually going back to piracy because the services are so bad. Yeah, I'm doing alright, Michael. No, I didn't catch side-scrollers. I usually miss side-scrollers for two reasons. One is that I just wake up too, I just woke up. I wake up way too late to catch side-scrollers. And the other thing is, Alex Jones is always on at the same time, so it's like, you gotta pick one or the other. So, yeah, did something happen. I saw some of the stuff about the, she has a pacifier or something. Like, I saw the pacifier meme earlier. But, yeah, anyway, let's, alright, so let's jump into this. I hope you can hear it this time. I really hope you can hear it this time.
For decades, the internet has enabled all the content you could possibly dream of to be accessible.
Looks like the audio's coming through. Let me know if it's not, chat, because I don't want you to be just hearing silence again.
At a fingertip. Streaming is now everywhere. Any movie or TV show you want to watch is there. And yet, just as we're saturated with streaming content everywhere, piracy is now back and becoming normal again. Because
Good. We need to bring it back. We need to bring it back, chat. It needs to come back. It's important.
people are starting to realize that modern
Hey, Jerry, how you doing, man?
streaming is a scam, and millions of people are just simply tuning out. And despite the ads and the price hikes, the studios are still losing billions, because we are going into a new golden age of piracy. But this wave of piracy is simply a wider symptom that the internet as a whole is dying. The same greedy decisions that are killing streaming are also undermining the entire internet as a whole, and possibly the rest of the economy. And now as we see governments restricting 18+ content, requiring...
So we talked about this before a few weeks ago. Yeah, this is getting to be a real problem, because you know that every time they say, oh, we want ID for, you know, this or that, they always go, oh, it's for the children. It's never about the children. It's always about taking away your anonymity, taking away your rights, and making sure you don't say anything that's inconvenient. Just finished recording, now OSRS and chill. Nice. What's OSRS?
Requiring users to do facial scans and upload their physical IDs to gatekeep the internet,
exactly,
trying
Jerry.
to literally block VPNs as we speak, it's clear we're in for a new age of piracy.
Old school RuneScape. Nice, nice. Hope you're having fun. I think I tried RuneScape once a long time ago. It was like the classic RuneScape or whatever. Like, this is back when I was a kid. I played it for like maybe 20 minutes. Then I just got bored or something. Never touched it again. Yeah, it's for the children and your safety. Well, it's for the government's safety. That's really what it's for. Michael said, oh, hey, Slosh. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Michael, yeah, so Hulu's merging into Disney, and I found out that Pluto TV might not be free anymore thanks to a merge with Paramount. The only one that's free now is Tubi. Yeah, so the Hulu merging into Disney I knew about. I want to say it was Sergey who mentioned that last week. But yeah, so Hulu's been owned by Disney for a long time. They bought out Comcast's shares in Hulu, so Disney's owned Hulu for a long time. So yeah, sounds like they're finally going through with just merging Hulu into Disney Plus. Pluto TV I didn't know about. So Paramount, I believe, has owned Pluto TV for a long time, but yeah, I hadn't heard that Pluto was going paid. Yeah, Tubi's. Yeah, I know about Tubi. Tubi's decent. But yeah, I do have some thoughts on some of these, because like I do think that like, you know, the nice thing about Pluto and Tubi is that they may have ads, but at least they're free, which I appreciate. But you know, the ones that are paid, you know, Disney Plus, Hulu, Paramount Plus, all that stuff, they're shoving ads into the paid ones anyway, which is like a, you know, double whammy. It's like when you pay for a game and then you have to pay for a subscription on top of that. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah, I think this video gets into that a little later too. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, exactly, Slosh. I remember, I think they have like random episodes of iCarly on Pluto. At least on like one of their channel type things. At least I remember seeing that at one point. Man, those were the days.
But how did this all start, and where did this come from? Let's start with streaming. People used to think it was the future, but the state of it today makes you nostalgic for the past. When you compare the modern state of streaming to what we used to have, it's night and day. Back when Netflix was the only show in town, it was insanely cheap compared to cable. For just $8 a month, you had access to Netflix's entire catalog. While Netflix didn't make their own shows, you still got far more value for money. These were the days before every Hollywood studio had segregated.
Yeah, so I remember actually back 10, 15 years ago, something like that. I want to say it was around like 2010 or so. Yeah, Slosh. They have whole channels of just one show, or like channels that mostly air one show. Yeah. I'm sure there's wrestling, movie channels, all that stuff on Pluto. Yeah. But yeah, I remember in like around 2010 or so, Netflix had just about everything. I think it was like 2010 to 2012-ish. Because my parents had Netflix. They still do. I don't. But what I remember is there was one point where I pretty much watched every single episode of the 90s Spider-Man, the animated series. If you haven't seen it, you should. It is a really nice cartoon. And funnily enough, the voice of Spider-Man in that show was the actor who voiced Chris Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid. Chris Barnes is his name. But yeah, I watched all of Spider-Man the Animated Series. They had that. I watched all of SpongeBob. Well, I mean, not all of SpongeBob, but they had all of SpongeBob. All of what was there at the time. So it was pretty magical. They had just about everything you could want. And it was just really nice to be able to watch all of it. But now, as he's pointing out here, all the media companies got greedy and decided, well, now we could make more money if we took our stuff off of Netflix and made our own streaming service. But they didn't realize that if they all did that, well, now they're all fighting over the same piece of the pie. So everyone's going to get a much smaller pie. Let's see. Netflix making their own content is part of why it's become shit. Yeah, Wingus, there's something to that. There's something to that. I don't think that's the only thing. And in some ways, it's kind of an effect of what happened with all the studios taking their stuff off. Because it used to be Netflix would just make some stuff, but most of their library was licensed content. But now, because all the studios took their stuff away, Netflix is basically forced to make their own content just so they have something to put on there. But on top of that, all their content is terrible. So there's that. I remember there was a show called... oh, man, what was it called? I can't even remember the name of the show anymore. But because Netflix didn't make it themselves, they funded it. But they weren't making it in-house. Man, I wish I could remember the name, but it was a really funny, like, fake documentary type of thing, and I remember season 2. They only made 2 seasons before it got canceled, even though it was really good, especially the second season, because the second season was basically a bunch. It's basically like some kids in a school doing a documentary, and the documentary was about somebody putting like laxatives in the school lemonade or something like that. Yeah, something like that. So it was basically like someone pulled a giant prank, giving everyone diarrhea. And they made this, like, really fake, serious documentary about it. It was pretty funny. But yeah, it got canceled, even though it was really popular. Let's see. Oh, hey, Fractured. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you, man. Disney just bought WWE's library, putting it on ESPN+. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Disney's just, like, scarfing down everything they can. And making it worse. Which is a shame because, you know, Disney is Disney, and I used to really like Disney. They don't deserve Mickey Mouse anymore. Michael says, I guess I should consider myself fortunate. I have Disney Plus, but you only got it through one of Verizon's bundle packs. Yeah, so at one point, I don't even know if I still have it, but I had HBO Max through my internet subscription. I don't know if I still have it because I never actually used it. So that, you know, the deal might be over, but who knows. Slosh, you're saying you remember Chris Barnes as Greg Brady in the Brady Bunch movies? That's I gotta look this up now. Yeah, that would be kind of cool if that's the case. Brady Bunch, Greg Brady. He looked like a real life Peter. Is it? Oh, wow, yeah, that's him. Oh, neat. Yeah, I guess he does kind of look like how you might expect a 70s Peter Parker to look like. Not this guy. That's a different actor, I think. Oh yeah, he looks like this now. But yeah, I can kind of see it. Yeah, streaming is the new cable. Yeah, exactly, Fractured. Except it's worse because at least with cable, everything was all in one place. So at the very least, you were able to just, you know, pull up. You could just pull up cable. Yeah, turn on the TV with cable and just watch it. You know, yeah, without the 70s hair. Yeah. But yeah, back when it was cable, at the very least, you had everything in one place. Whatever you wanted to watch, it was there. They even started having on demand around the same time that streaming services started doing the streaming. Yep. Only greedy corpos could make previous things worse. Yep. But now everything's fractured on different services. You're paying probably more than you were for cable if you want to watch everything, and trying to find anything becomes a nightmare or like trying to find something new becomes a disaster because you have to look on every single service to see, what does each service have to offer. It's really hard to find anything new. Whereas with cable, at the very least, you could just scroll through all your channels, and there was usually something or the other. Now, cable's not great these days either because it's like 90% garbage reality TV reruns. But, sometimes you'll find something. And it was all in one place. It made it easy. And you could just throw, Yeah. I realized it right when I said it, Jerry. I realized it right when I said it.
I'm retarded?
But yeah, so so with cable, you at least there's like Discovery, and then there's the fact that with cable you can just throw cable on, and there's usually something or the other that you can just leave on in the background, which is nice. If if you're like me, you don't really want music isn't good enough, and you don't really like radio. Well, you throw TV on, and there you go. So yeah, Disney was fine up until the early 2010s after the Marvel and Star Wars buyouts is when it became evident. Yeah, I suppose that's true. It might have been pretty bad before that, but it wasn't like noticeable. Like there might have been some internal corporate rot. Now they're running Alien and Predator into the ground. Yeah, I know those are pretty big popular franchises too. Fractured, yep, exactly, Fractured. This is why I'm glad I have a hard drive worth this. Look, listen, Fractured, listen. So, and pay no attention to the pirate from SpongeBob here. Patchy has a lot of wisdom to offer. But I may or may not have an 8 terabyte drive sitting in my server, sitting in a server, the same server that hosts my AI girlfriend. And I may or may not be able to watch whatever I want, whenever I want it, from that server. Allegedly. But yeah. So, yeah, I should probably,
aggregated its backlog for its own platform. Pretty much anything you could imagine was on Netflix, available instantly. Compare that to today and you start to get a sense of just how messed up the streaming landscape has become. So let's see how it all stacks up in reality today. For the mainstream platforms, you've got Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO Max, and Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple TV, and finally...
Oh, I wish, Slosh. I wish I had 3 terabytes of Jack Black songs, because then I could make James listen to every single one.
Peacock. We're already looking at over $100 a month, or $1,236 a year, and
literally, you can get, for that price, you can literally get cable, or even better, you can get like one of those cable over the internet services. Like, there's YouTube TV, which is pretty much cable over YouTube's streaming, although it's not perfect. There's also DirecTV Stream, which is more expensive, but in my opinion, that is the best option. It's what I have. So those are like, they're over the internet and there's no contract. So it's just like any other streaming service, but what you get is effectively cable.
And this is all for no improvement in service. All that gets you is the same level of ad-free access you would have had for $8 just a decade ago. Sure, you'd probably get more content paying $100 a month today than you would have gotten 10 years ago, but you just can't deny how insanely expensive it's getting for normal people. As we all thought we were escaping cable prices, but now we're paying even more. But we're hardly done here. If you're into documentaries, you might want Curiosity Stream, which is another $5 a month. If you like anime, then Crunchyroll is another $8 a month minimum. And oftentimes, this is still with the ad-supported subscription tier. Often it's not even cheap cheaper, it's just the old price they used to charge before they hiked it up. Some platforms like Amazon just force the adverts into their existing service, while charging their customers $3 extra a month to remove them. Yet the entire...
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier with them just shoving ads into things that you already paid for. That really pisses me off. Because if you're paying for something, they should be putting ads in it. And this is I know this was one of the complaints about cable. But like with the streaming services especially, because they advertise themselves as being ad-free, but then they realized, oh wait, we need to squeeze more money out of everybody, so now we're just going to shove ads into it, and if you don't want ads, well, now you have to pay more. And what really gets me in this little email that they're showing here, see if I can pop back a little bit. Yeah, so what gets me here is this little letter to, you know, whoever's being informed that their Prime Video service is getting more expensive or getting ads in there. Yeah, you pay to remove the ads there. Yep. What really gets me here is where they say Prime has a very compelling value. Like right at the bottom there, you see that? It's like, that's not really for you to decide. That's for us, the customer, to say if it's compelling or not. And frankly, Prime Video is a complete joke. Yeah, slash. Patty says, I pay for no ads. Yeah, see. You have to pay for no ads, which is extra. And it's ridiculous. You're being nickel and dime for everything. Pretty soon it's going to be that please drink verification can. If you've ever seen that. Stream ads are on par with cable ads too, same volume and yep. That's why I do not feel bad if anybody chooses to use an ad blocker, because it is ridiculous how bad it is. So this one, this is the meme I was talking about. Gaming led the way for these types of microtransactions. People just accept them. Yeah, that's true. But again, Fractured, I will say, if a game is free to play, then I understand having some kind of microtransactions or, you know, some kind of monetization like that. But it's the games that make you pay for them up front, and then they do this kind of thing. Then they give you subscriptions, microtransactions, and season passes, and whatever else. Because gaming has this weird thing where, in the olden days, you would buy a game and you had the game. And that was it. Like, you just bought the whole game. And sometimes you get, like, an expansion pack or whatever, but that was... Basically, that was like buying a whole new cheap game. Nowadays, you basically have an entry fee. So that, we were, a couple years ago, we were talking about, the price of developing games has increased. So games now, instead of $60, now they have to be $80 and all that. But it's like $80 is just the entry fee for a lot of these modern AAA games. Because you get $80 for the base price. That is just the entry fee for the game. Then you have your season pass, microtransactions, battle passes, all sorts of nonsense that they do to just like break the game up into little pieces and nickel and dime it to you. Yeah, Slosh was saying you have Spectrum, which is around $2 a month. $2 a month? That's an amazing deal. If you cut out cable from that, just left internet, got YouTube TV and Hulu TV as a cable alternative, it's still close to the same price. Well, so here's the thing. If you get YouTube TV, you don't need Hulu TV. Now, I think, at least in my case, YouTube TV and DirecTV Stream were the only ones that had all the channels that I like. Hulu TV was actually missing some channels. So, I had a YouTube TV a while back, but it was just kind of annoying because every time I'd open up the guide, it would pause the show. And the image quality wasn't as good. So then I switched back to DirecTV Stream, and everything is a lot better. But it is a bit more expensive. Yeah, you don't mean the free stuff, but it's all cosmetic. Yeah, basically once they realized that they could get a lot of money out of microtransactions, they just started shoving it and everything. Oh, you just meant Hulu or YouTube. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it is still decent. You do end up paying somewhere around $100 a month. But at least in my opinion, you do get a lot more for what you pay for, because they come with that on-demand stuff. So, any new shows you can record, has DVR built in. So you can record your show, you can watch the on-demand version. You can pretty much do whatever you want, as long as the show is available. Patty says, with Peacock, if you want to watch the Premier League, then you have to pay for premium, and I love Manchester United. Patty, I assume you're talking about soccer, which I know very little about. Manchester United, I assume that's a British... Oh, God. Now, okay, I have to look this up. And I hope I don't get hit with, I hope I don't get hit with copyright. But this bit is, like, literally, every time someone mentions, like, British soccer, this is all I ever think about. What was it? Did you see that ludicrous display last night? Here we go.
Is that 20?
Here you go, Moss.
Right, Harry, did you see that ludicrous display last night?
What was Wenger thinking, sending Walcott on that early?
The thing about Arsenal is they always try and walk it in.
That is true. See you later, Moss.
Well, there you go.
Exactly, Fractured.
What was that?
What?
You were saying football things in a football voice. How do you know about football things?
Oh, it's this new site. It basically sends you a list of football phrases that you can use in normal conversation. Updated daily. It's great.
I wish they had something like this for me. Because, I mean, you know, soccer's not as huge here. But, like, you know, football or whatever. That dude's in the new Fable. Ooh, which one, Slosh? Moss or Roy? The black guy or the Irish guy? Yeah. Moss is in the new Fable. Oh God, isn't the new Fable? That's the new Fable. Is that the one with like the ugly girl that was being paraded around as the game's poster child? Fable, what was it? Fable 3? No, not Fable 3. Was it Fable 4? Yeah. Okay, Fable 4. Yeah, with the ugly girl. I'm not seeing it, but oh, yep, there we go. So, wow, Moss from the IT crowd. Fable for oh, what's his name? Moss. Oh, Richard Iowade. Iowade. I don't know. However you say his name. Is he really? Oh, jeez, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Woke or not, he was a very, very good actor in the show. And then I love the other version of this.
Right, Harry, did you see that?
Night. What's the crust display like?
Where
Well,
he just,
there
like,
you
tries to
go.
go to talk to someone.
Did you see that ludicrous display last night?
What's Wenger doing sending Walcott on that early?
The thing about Arsenal is they always try and walk it in. Did you see that ludicrous display last night?
Yeah. So that bit is always what I hear, what I think of when I think of British soccer. But yeah. So yeah, Patty, I hope you. I hope it's worth the price, because yeah, it is. Yeah, things are getting way too expensive. He's the giant that picks up Goblina. Oh God, it's Fable reboot now or 4. I think it's still called Fable 4. Yeah. Oh yeah, Fractured. IT Crowd is great, and it's everyone talks about that. I think it was an HBO show, Silicon Valley. That, you know, everyone's like, oh, this is so great, but I'm like, the IT Crowd, at least for me, has always been way more relatable. It was also really funny to me when I found out, you know, Desmond from the IT Crowd? Desmond. Oh, wait. I just searched Desmond. Yeah, same, Fractured. I've never seen it, but I think, Richmond? No, not. Wait, was it Richmond? Oh, I guess his name was Richmond. I always thought it was Desmond for some reason. Yeah, Richmond. This guy. So apparently he becomes like, he used to be like a very, so he used to be like a, yeah, second in command of Rental Industries. So he was like one of the top guys of the company that they all work for. And then he started listening to a band called Cradle of Filth, and became like this. But the funny thing is, I didn't realize Cradle of Filth was a real band until like years after I'd seen the show, which is really funny. Yeah, exactly, Slosh. You know Cradle. I didn't know anything about like metal bands and all that, so. And then I found out it was real. Yeah. Thank God you have service level knowledge of most things, otherwise did you stare and nod whenever someone brings up a sport or topic can't relate to? Yeah, exactly, Slosh. Exactly. I'm like, oh yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, okay, cool. But it's like I have no idea what they're talking about. Fractured says there's also 5 seasons. Yeah, so IT Crowd had 4 seasons of 6 episodes each, which is weird. Because, you know, usually you expect a season to have a lot more episodes. But yeah, it's only 6 episodes per season. And then there's like a special movie finale episode called The Internet is Coming. Mighty Boosh. I've heard Mighty Boosh a lot of times, but actually I have no idea what that is. What is that? Mighty Boosh is a British comedy troupe featuring comedian. Oh, okay. Okay. Noel Fielding. Yeah, that's Richmond. I gotcha. Okay, so he's an actor on that show or whatever it was. Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. I didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't know Cradle of Filth Fractured. Yeah, until like way later. Hot Topic Max. Yeah, Hot Topic Max. God, I miss I miss when everyone just bought. Well, I didn't, but I miss when like Hot Topic was the big thing with girls. I miss that era of women's fashion, I guess, when women just wore a lot of Hot Topic. Classic corpse paint black metal. Yeah, I think they're a little too gothic screamy for your taste. Yeah, I'm not usually into the screamy metal. I prefer more like the Megadeth or the Dragon Force, where they're actually just like singing. Patty says, as of late, no, Manchester United sucks, but you still watch it, and the WWE pay-per-views before WWE went to ESPN. Yeah, fair enough. Does Manchester United always try to walk it in? Mighty Boosh is where Old Greg came. I also don't know who Old Greg is. Slosh, you are really overestimating my pop culture knowledge. Yeah, I miss malls too. You know, when I was a kid, I hated malls because my parents always dragged me to the mall. But nowadays, it's like it would be kind of nice to go to a mall and like hang out with people or something. And I remember like, God, this was a decade ago. I met up with a friend. I think I was in New York for an internship, and I had a friend who lived nearby. So yeah, we just met up in a mall and we just hung out for the day. It was fun. And it was nice. There are a lot of things that we used to have that we don't. That I think are part of the reason that things are so difficult for people right now. You know, things like malls, and along with malls, the fact that it's just considered inappropriate to, you know, just even go up to a girl and talk to her anywhere nowadays. Because, you know, it used to be back in the olden days, you had malls, you know, teenagers and young people could just go hang out at the mall, and just go talk to random other people and be like, hey, how's it going, you know? Now you can't do that because everything's become all atomized, and the malls themselves are pretty much gone. And the few that are around, well, you can't really talk to people at the mall anyway, but there aren't even that many people at the mall these days. But yeah, I mean, part of the fun of the mall was like just like, you know, going to like the Auntie Anne's or the ice cream place, you know, buying a pretzel, buying some ice cream, and then just walking around and looking at stuff. I remember going to GameStop a lot in the mall. That was fun. Oh, how far a GameStop has fallen. I'm jealous you don't know Old Grit. So they do try to walk it in sometimes. That's awesome. That's amazing, Patty Quinn. Yeah. Oh, you're jealous I don't know Old Greg. It was the dumbest shit ever. Okay, well, now I have to look at that up. I assume you mean jealous in the sense that okay. I assume you mean jealous in the sense that I get to watch something new. Markable fee, Legend of Old Greg being uploaded into. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, strip malls still thrive, but yeah, big box stores are all that's left, and they're getting overrun with certain. Yep, they're getting overrun with people of a certain demographic. Yep. So we do have a mall that is maybe. Oh, jealous! I've been spared the cringe. Oh, jeez. Yeah, we do have a mall not far from me that is still doing reasonably well. Yeah, and well, they do have a few smaller stores in there, but yeah, the thing is, a couple of years ago, I went there for something, and I mean, the food court is probably the best part of the mall, if I'm being honest. But anyway, so I went there, and I haven't been there in a couple of years, but these days there are signs everywhere saying, "No minors allowed." No, nobody under the age of 18 allowed unaccompanied. Without an adult. That's like teenagers used to be able to just go drive to the mall and hang out. Now you can't do that. It's terrible. Yeah. So, what was I saying with the with this thing? Yeah. So what it's become and where we're getting to is this old please drink verification can. Yeah. Yes, exactly. / no minor iddies. But yeah, so the place we're getting with streaming services, video games, everything is this please drink verification can copy pasta if you've never seen it. So let me open the image in a new tab so you can see a little. No, I want the image. God, I hate Reddit. But let me see. Let me see if I can just paste it into something so you can see it a little better. Graphics. No, I'll just do drawing. I'm good. Okay, there. That's good enough. Yeah, so it's like... Yeah, 2018, wake up sick after playing video games with Xbox on. And this was made back in, 2013? Back when they revealed the Xbox One with its... I think it was like the always-on Connect requirement. And so the joke is that, Xbox on, please verify that you are this guy by saying, Doritos, do it right. Doritos, do it right. Error, please drink verification can. And it literally makes him drink a Mountain Dew just to verify who he is. And it's like, oh, that really hit the spot. Xbox does nothing. I attempt to smile, connecting to verification server. So basically you have to pretend that you actually like whatever they're advertising. Yeah. Error, user attempting to steal online gameplay. My mother just walked into the room. Adding another user to your pass. This will recharge your credit card. You accept? No. Console entering lock state. And then it's again, please drink verification can. Piracy, yeah. Yeah, and then he doesn't drink the whole can. And so then it goes, piracy detected. Please complete this advertisement to continue. Yeah, so that's where we're getting to. They're just going to be shoving ads into everything. And it's going to be terrible. And that's why everyone's going back to piracy.
Their customers $3 extra a month to remove them. Yet the entire reason to often have these services is to not deal with constant ads anymore, and going back is seemingly a non-negotiable.
Fractured, I was ahead of the curve. I have never owned an Xbox console in my life. But yeah, I remember all the nonsense with that. That was pretty much what I think put Sony over the top. After the PS3, which the PS3 was actually a pretty nice console, but it was very overpriced and very very overpriced is what I would say. And I think that is I think the Kinect thing is the reason that is at least part of the reason that the PlayStation kind of blew up with the late PS3 and then with the PS4, because the Xbox was getting in such a weird situation. Now, of course, they're all basically like that. They're all trying to get rid of the physical media and making everything, day one downloads and day one patches and DLCs and all that. Yeah, gonna be streamers before we know it. The big hitters on Twitch and all that. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Let's see. Yeah, Patty, you've never owned an Xbox console either? Yeah, I've never owned them. Fractured says, main reason I got a 360 was because I was trying to do what Moss did, but with a console and mingle with my coworkers that were Xbox and Halo players. Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I think most of the other kids when I was in school had Xboxes. I was the only one with a PlayStation. But of course, this was back when PlayStation was good, so I had PS2, PS3. I played all the classic, all the good stuff. That's how I found Infamous, which we do still need to get back to at some point. But yeah, PlayStation used to have so many good games. No, they got nothing. And I don't just mean because they're putting them on PC. That's not what I mean at all. I mean they're literally just not making anything good anymore. The irony of it is that the good stuff is not coming to PC because it's too old for them to port, I guess.
It's why an estimated 25% of Prime Video's young adult users cancelled their subscription entirely.
You'll love to hear it, chat. You'll love to hear it. 25% of subscribers canceled their membership. Can we get those numbers up? We gotta pump those numbers up. They're rookie numbers.
When it was introduced. Plus, if you have any other subscription.
Oh, wait.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
I just had the perfect clip for that.
Subscriptions, like a Spotify subscription, ChatGPT subscription, even a subscription for your car, you'll end up just forking out
subscription for your car. By the way, that is one of the most dystopian things I've ever heard. So I can't find the ad that I saw years ago, but there is another ad. The one I saw was way more dystopian for Volvo. But Volvo a few years back made an ad for I don't want to steal this, but it was like the most dystopian WEF sounding ad for their cars ever. It was like, imagine a car you subscribe to. And yeah, see here what they're saying. By not owning things, you are not owned by things. It's like you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's basically what this ad is. Like, it's really just... Yeah, see, here you go. Introducing the car you subscribe to. It's the most dystopian thing ever. But, yeah, it's disturbing. Yeah, that's why every game that I have and every DVD and Blu-ray, I'm keeping everything. I have PS3 and PS4 and keep those two. Yeah, Michael, that is good. Physical media is nice, but the problem is that, especially by those generations you're talking about, you will be in trouble if anything, So those already have a lot of like day one patches and DLCs and things like that you got to deal with. And on top of that, with physical media, you still have to worry about something breaking and, not being able to find a new one that's not crazy expensive. Wingus, be sure to sub to your BMW for heated seats and Hyundai for remote start. Yeah. Well, okay, so I have a remote starter, and I actually do pay a subscription for that. But I do understand with a remote starter why they might need a subscription, because it runs over like your mobile network, and so, they do have to pay for bandwidth and stuff like that. So remote start I can understand, but something like heated seats, that being a subscription is completely ridiculous. There's no reason for that. Yeah, exactly, Jerry. You'd probably still pay full price if it breaks. A Volvo, no less. I don't know much about Volvo cars, Slosh. But yeah, Slosh says I was at GameStop with my nephew while he bought Arkham City, and there was a cute clerk flirting about gaming on Xbox Live. I was close to buying an Xbox. He bought Arkham City. You mean like was this recent? Or was this like back in 2011 when Arkham City came out? Also, why can I not... Why don't cute girls flirt with me at GameStop? The only time I've ever had a girl talk to me at The only time I've ever even seen a girl talk to me at GameStop. Well, the only time I've ever even seen a girl at GameStop. Yeah, back in 2012. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, I had a girl... There was a girl who talked to me back at a GameStop in that era. But the thing is, she was actually one of my classmates. So, and she was actually very nice. So, that's the only reason she talked to me, probably. But, yeah, also I haven't been to a GameStop in a long time because everything's digital now, so there's not really much reason to go to GameStop. You exude himbo energy. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't exude that. I exude, I probably exude stay away from me, or I'm probably, you know, I probably exude serial killer energy. That's probably what I exude. That's probably why people don't just come up and talk to me. Unless they're little kids. For some reason, little kids love me. Which is good, because I think little kids are awesome. That's what I figured as well. They're just being nice talking to hard ass. Yeah, oh yeah, that's probably true. Oh yeah, Slosh, you know what? It is possible that the clerk was just trying to sell you one of their GameStop memberships. Because that's a thing.
Hundreds of dollars a month very easily. And so when the obvious alternative to much of this stuff is always going to be free, you can see why so many people have been willing just to say no to the nonsense, as millions of people have now been recently cancelling their subscriptions, and if things continue to get worse, this process will only accelerate. But before we get into the pirate ships threatening to sink the entire industry,
that makes me so happy. That just makes me so happy to see this crap falling apart.
we need to understand how we even got here in the first place. You see, the Hollywood of today is completely different to what it used to be. You have this image of a small set of studio executives and CEOs controlling the whole industry and taking the profits. While most of that's still true, they aren't working
exactly fractured
for themselves anymore. The past 2 decades have seen a process called financialization decimate Hollywood.
Wait, Slosh, wait. You're saying she was flirting with you, but she was taken? Then she was definitely trying to sell you something. Either that or she was a terrible person.
As described in the book Derivative Media: How Wall Street Devours Culture, you see the studios don't even own themselves anymore. They've often sold out to private equity. And here's how it works. Say you've got a struggling movie.
So I'm going to have a big rant on this, because private equity is destroying everything.
Studio like MGM in 2004. They had been one of the biggest studios in Hollywood, but despite their rich catalogue of IPs and characters like James Bond.
Yeah, that's true, Slosh. The 10s are usually the worst. Yep, yeah, you're probably right, Fractured. That is a good point.
And Spider-Man, the 90s and 2000s.
Okay, so he says here, and this just bothers me. Definitely flirting though, low-key. I had a girl, you know, I think the only time the closest I've ever gotten to being flirted with was a couple weeks ago. I was at Target buying groceries or whatever. And a pretty cute girl was in the checkout line, I think 2 people ahead of me. And she looked back, she smiled at me. And I was in such shock that I just kind of stood there with my serial killer face. And then she, walked off. But, that made my whole month. So, no amount of, all the weirdos on the Twitter will tell you, oh, go to therapy, oh. And it's like, therapy is useless, and no amount of therapy will do for you what a random cute girl smiling at you at the Target checkout line will. Jerry says, all women are constantly on the hunt for a better man. It's just a value proposition. If they're heavily invested in the current one, they'd fall for a millionaire, but if he's a scumbag to begin with. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true, Jerry. I think the concept is known as hypergamy. So, and it's become, unfortunately, really common in these days. So guys, let me know if the background music is too high or too low, because I keep trying to adjust it so it's a decent level. You know who always says that? A woman with a nose rings are just a sign of mental illness. Though I will say the girl that smiled at me, I think she had a nose ring. So, yeah.
But despite their rich catalog of IP,
they have unfortunately. Well, I mean, so has the mental illness, Jerry. The mental illness has also become very common, Jerry. Yeah, confirmed on weekend pregame. Yeah, Yeah. Yep.
And characters like James Bond and Spider-Man, the 90s and 2000s.
Okay, so this is something that bothers me here. He says Spider-Man. MGM never had Spider-Man. Sony had the rights to Spider-Man since at least before 2002 when they put out the first Spider-Man movie. So he got that wrong, and it's just bothering me. Oh yeah, Jerry, I think the pure causation. Yeah, I think the mental illness causes them to want to put on nose rings, and you know what women are like. They always tell each other. It's the same with that weird like the facial fat removal surgery. You know the one where they get like the buccal fat. I think is what it's called, where they get the fat taken out of their cheeks, and then they just look really old. Basically, all the weird plastic surgeries they do that for some reason women get to make themselves look 40, even if they're 20. And then they lie to each other and go, "Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, you look so great. This is so great. It's so perfect." And they just make themselves. They lie to each other, so they all make each other look worse. I think that's what it is. Going back to the early '90s, I thought when James Cameron did his script in '94. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, by the way, speaking of James Cameron's script, I've seen some things. I've never seen the original script, but I've seen things about the original script that James Cameron did, and it was horrible. Like, he wrote Spider-Man with the energy of a school shooter. That's where the organic web came from. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, he wrote Spider-Man with the personality of a school shooter, and there was supposed to be like a gratuitous sex scene toward the end with Mary Jane on top of I think it was on top of the World Trade Center. So it was just James Cameron's Spider-Man would have just been a horrible movie, and I'm glad that they had Sam Raimi and Ted Raimi, I think, and David Cope, however you say his name. I'm glad that they rewrote it massively, so we got the masterpiece that we actually got.
Thousands had not been kind to them. Now, saddled with debt from trying to stay relevant, the studio was looking for a way out, and this is where private equity comes along. They see what's called a distressed asset, and they have just the right tool to make profit from it, a leverage buyout. Using borrowed money, billions of it in this case, a few equity firms could take over a company like MGM and pay off the previous debts with even more borrowed cash. Often a larger competitor will then join the buyout so that the private equity firms can use them as a platform to extract even more profit. In MGM's case, the equity firms were joined by some of the other studios like Sony, eager to get their hands on MGM's licenses. MGM meanwhile took on a further $3.7 billion in debt to try and make this deal, nearly twice as much as the equity firms paid off when they bought it. Now, the standard play is often to strip the assets and just move on. This is how private equity makes money from distressed assets. In MGM's case, Sony took the valuable characters, the catalogue of movies, and any other content which was potentially profitable, and all the other parts of MGM, like all the staff, were dead weight. As costs go down, profits remain the same for a little while the stock price goes up and the equity firm can make their money back. By the time the damage from the layoffs and the liquidation becomes clear, the firms that bought it will have probably sold it already, or they'll have made enough of stock dividends that they just don't care anymore. While the MGM buyout marked the beginning of a gold rush for private equity, it really didn't go that well on paper. A few years later, MGM was still heavily in debt with barely anything left to sell to pay it off. Sony hadn't made as much on Spider-Man and James Bond as they thought, but
Again, Spider-Man did not come from MGM. MGM never had the rights to Spider-Man.
The end result of all of this was that Hollywood became even more concentrated. MGM ceased to exist as it got traded from one equity firm to another, each one trying to extract the last bit of value from its corpse. Their characters and IP got swallowed up into Sony, backed by private equity. Hollywood then constricted even more.
Okay, so here's the thing. He goes into this, he explains a little bit about what happened to MGM with private equity. But here's the thing you have to understand about private equity. It's not just Hollywood, it's not just entertainment. It's everywhere. So what happens is, and he talked about this earlier, what private equity does, and this is something that you should actually be very aware of, what private equity will do is
MGM and pay off the and character
find it
along. They see what's called a distressed asset, and they have
So the distressed asset and the thing that he said about leverage buyouts. So this is something you don't need to know all the details necessarily, but it's just something you should be aware of. especially if you have, retirement accounts, 401k, and all that. Because this is something that is a serious, serious problem. What's going on is that these companies... So you have these distressed assets, right? These are... Typically, they're just normal companies that are not doing well. So what'll happen is these private equity firms will come in and they'll do this leveraged buyout thing. And a leveraged buyout is basically when a private equity firm, or really any company, takes out a giant loan to buy another company. So that's what they do. The private equity companies, they take out these giant loans to buy these dying companies or struggling companies. Then what they do is they will strip the company for parts, sell it off, make a whole bunch of money, and then you're left with basically a shell of a company that has been, to use the new term, enshittified, the enshittification term that everyone talks about. So these companies basically turn to these companies that they buy basically turn to garbage once they're stripped for parts, and everything that's really useful has been sold off. And then what happens is, either the company, like he said, will get sold off, or what frequently happens more and more now is because there's a legal loophole, the private equity firms will actually saddle the shell of a former company that they bought. They'll saddle that with the debt from their leveraged buyout. So all the loans that the private equity firm took out, they'll put the debt on the company that they bought, because there's some weird legal loophole that lets them do that. And then when the company goes bankrupt, the private equity guys, they've made a huge profit, and then the company that they bought, it goes bankrupt, it dies, but they don't have to deal with it because it's they basically put the debt on that company that they bought. And to make things worse, the debt is now being sold to retirement funds. And just recently, President Trump did the opposite of a good thing, and he signed an executive order that basically lets different kinds of retirement funds, looks at 401k investors, it lets them look into private equity as investment options, which you don't want. Because if you take on these debts in your 401k, you're going to lose a ton of money. So this is just something that I think everybody should be aware of, is that your 401k and other investment stuff, there is a serious chance that you could end up with a fund that has invested in this private equity, in these in these bankrupted companies, and that you could lose a ton of money. So I guess just, obviously not financial advice, blah, 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 all the disclaimers. But, just try and make sure you're keeping an eye on this and trying to avoid these kinds of things, because it is a serious problem. And of course, I can't take credit for this knowledge. There was somebody else who, I think Tiffany Cianci was her name. She's got like a YouTube channel and stuff. She's the one who discovered a lot of this. She was on InfoWars a few months ago talking about it too. So, it's legit. But the information is legit. Yeah. Yep, fractured, exactly. More fell for it again awards. And yeah. Alright, cool, Slosh. I will take a look in Discord at some of that Raimi stuff. I actually have a ton of archived stuff from the old Spider-Man movies. I managed to get my hands on so the first two movies with they got a release of the Danny Elfman score, and I have a couple of, at least two of the releases for 1 and 2, but for Spider-Man 3 they never released an official version of the score. But there has been so apparently the composer for 3, Christopher Young, sent out a CD to a fan at some point with an unofficial copy of the score for Spider-Man 3, and I managed to get my hands on a digital copy. So I actually have a copy of the score for Spider-Man 3, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you see ads for Vanguard now promoting retirement stuff. Yeah, Well, Vanguard isn't a private equity firm. Vanguard is like an actual financial firm, like like Fidelity or whatever. So Vanguard actually is the company that manages a lot of these retirement funds. The thing you have to keep an eye on is what's inside your funds. So are you invested in these private equity firms or in any of these like private equity debts? So I am, this is another one of those, exactly, another fell for it again award, as Fractured put it. And it's one of those things that I'm, again, just like with the H-1B abuse, I'm very, very disappointed in Trump for doing that. And in fact, I have one thing to say to him.
Shame on you.
Jump back to where we were here.
Did even more and sold out to private equity once again. And we've seen how this process eventually unfolded with MGM, as the entire company got stripped and thrown away like a total car. The next 2 decades saw the same song and dance play out.
That wasn't you, Fractured. It was Trump that I was shaming. But oh, okay. So there is a video called "Trumpet Fight." I think it might be marked 18+, so I can't. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna make me sign in, which I don't want to do. Basically, there's this like weird. His name is Douglas Levinson, and he. Yeah. Well, I was saying I have one message. That was my message for Trump for writing that executive order. But so there's this guy named Douglas Levinson who was yelling at. He's this really weird-looking guy who was just like yelling at some guy who was playing a trumpet in somewhere in New York City, and it's just so bizarre, like his rant. Oh yeah, and Wang did a video on it, which is great. Wang does a lot of good stuff, but yeah, it's hilarious. And then he goes through his website, and he's just cracking up.
Today.
I'll just jump here to... Yeah, so the guy has a website, and it's so funny that Wang is actually cracking up when he's reading it.
Testimonials to see all the testimonials at Flower. There's sections for everything else. The music at 5 dots, environment photos, some pictures of trees, more trees, another tree, another tree. This is the environment. Tell me this gallery is literally nothing. Oh, there's a wind. I don't know the wind.
Yeah, just like he's browsing the guy's website, and just at random points is so ridiculous. He just starts cracking up. You always love the one with 2 Indian guys yelling "fuck you" to each other, no fists or hands, just them trying to out-fuck each other. I haven't seen that one, Slosh. I don't think I've seen that one. But yeah, the shame on you, the trumpet fight guy, he just cracks me up. And especially at one point he says, like, he's just like, because he's just ranting almost incoherently, and then at one point he goes, "You're no artist. A real artist respects the science that serves as the foundation of creativity," which is really funny. But yeah, so there's that. You know what? I gotta do something about my about the music thing. Just like noise gated or something. Oh, there we go, noise gate. Actually, I don't know if that's the right filter. So I think a noise gate is basically turned off. Anyway, I'll deal with that later. Yeah. So back to the video.
Out over and over again. In the same year, JP Morgan and some other firms bought out AMC. Cinemark was sold out to Madison Dearborn Partners. And in 2006, a group of investors led by the world's largest asset manager Blackstone bought out the Nielsen Company, which is a massive Hollywood audience data firm. Hulu then went a year later, as well as Univision not long afterwards. DreamWorks was then bought up in 2008 by private equity, Miramax in 2010, and in 2012, one of Hollywood's largest talent agencies, WME, was brought out by the private equity firm Silver Lake. A year later, they then struck again, buying out another agency called IMG. and they were 2 of the 4 big ones. Some of IMG's clients included Taylor Swift and Justin Timberlake. And so in the space of 1 year, one private equity firm took control of a huge part of the industry. So why has no one ever heard about any of this? You think people would be interested in learning how just a few firms bought one of the biggest industries in the world. The whole of Hollywood has been bought out. And yet this...
And again, it's not just Hollywood. It is like Joanne Fabrics is one of the companies that got bought up by private equity. I think, what was that restaurant called? Hooters, I think. Part of the reason Hooters is falling apart, it's not just like, you know, social or cultural or whatever. It is also that they got bought out by private equity.
This was buried in the press, especially in the press that covers Hollywood. The Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Rolling Stone, IndieWire, and most other major entertainment news companies are owned by Penske Media Group. This is a conglomerate that was made to hoover up all the news companies and put them...
Isn't that convenient? So the private equity not only bought up tons of Hollywood, but they also bought up a ton of the media that reports on Hollywood. So they're all owned by the same companies, which means they may or may not have the same incentives. So they may or may not have a real conflict of interest here to report positively on a dying industry.
Put them under one roof. And you can guess who's been bankrolling the operation. Private equity firms have put hundreds...
Yeah, exactly. No noticing. You're not allowed to notice Fractured.
...of millions into it. Each time these companies change hands, the firm that ends up owning them tries to extract as much profit as possible. So they cut costs, which means laying off the staff. While the stock price might go up for a time and the firm might end up getting richer, the actual company they're buying ceases to function properly. And it's really hard to overstate the effect this has had on TV shows and movies as a whole. It explains why every movie just seems to flop nowadays.
I mean, they're also just really bad movies. I mean, let's be real. They just aren't making good movies anymore. I mean, you know, back in my day, you only got a couple of movies here and there, but they were such amazing movies. And these days, what? You get the same movie repackaged effectively, and it's poorly written, it's full of old garbage, it's not good. Doesn't respect the characters, doesn't respect the plot, doesn't even respect the audience. Ugh.
Equity firms looking to cut costs have cut wages, media...
Yeah, it's all poorly written, directed. Yep. Kirsha covered a bit of this, but it was hard to find anything on it. Slosh, did she... Okay, so... I assume you mean the private equity stuff, Slosh? Because I have a little bit, but most of what I have is just the... basically just the video by the lady I was talking about.
Media writer-producer pay fell by 23% amidst a decade of buyouts, and actor pay and screenwriter pay dropped by similar levels as well. These stripped down, Skeleton Crew Studios can't output quality content at the same speed or quality. It's why we don't see things like Breaking Bad anymore. Breaking Bad, a 5-season masterpiece, came...
I have a confession to make, by the way, chat. I've never seen Breaking Bad.
Out across 2008 to 2013. This was just before the buyouts really took their effect, as pretty much every year like clockwork they made a new series of one of the best shows of all time, which is something that's completely unheard of for a show of its size.
Okay, in the entertainment space specifically, she covered more of the bridge stuff. Yeah, I know the bridge stuff is kind of her thing. Yeah, so it's probably because it's not just the entertainment. It's probably because this goes well beyond the entertainment industry. And I know she focuses a little more on bridge and like entertainment type stuff. But no, this goes far, far beyond just the entertainment industry. Like I said, it's happening. Private equity is destroying everything for profits. They're basically strip mining companies for profits, and then leaving you in your retirement fund with holding the bag. Campbell's Soup is where she first... Really? Campbell's Soup got bought out by private equity? Aren't they owned by... Huh. Campbell's Soup. Oh, okay, they are their own company. Huh, I always thought they were owned by something else. Oh, but it's Okay, they own Pepperidge Farm. Interesting. Yeah. Jerry says, I just rewatched Breaking Bad. It has great filmology or whatever film science is. Nice. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good, but I just never got around to watching it. Even the dog food he used to buy is involved in it. Fresh Pet Slush, yeah. Yeah, like I said, private equity is just buying up everything. And, yeah, they're strip mining these companies for parts, selling them off to make a profit, and then you're just left with this really broken company that is terrible. Don't see... Yeah, I don't see anything about the firm that is running Campbell's, but total equity, something in here, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. Usually there's something about like sizable, notable investors, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. If crime dramas are up your alley, Breaking Bad is primo. Best show in the last 2 decades, in your opinion. The characters are really great. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Is that I'm just not like big on dramas or crime dramas. You know, like my thing is like the kinds of shows I like tend to be more like comedies, or at least like a something superhero, and not the garbage we get nowadays. I'm talking the classics like Batman the Animated Series. I've been rewatching random episodes of the Batman the Animated Series lately, and it's still just so good. I mean, there are times when, like, you may not believe it, but there are times when Batman is actually a very, very relatable character, just like, just as a guy. Slash says, I'll have to go back and find it. Sometime last year she mentioned it has financial connections to Bridge, from what I recall. Well, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Because keep in mind that even if it's not owned by private equity, every publicly traded company tends to have a huge stake by the WEF, World Economic Forum aligned investment firms like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, etc. Fractured liked Breaking Bad, but he liked Better Call Saul more? Interesting. I've never seen either, so...
Today. In fact, we today just see flop after flop in movies and TV. Nowadays, you'd be lucky if your favorite show was half as good and had a new series come out every 2 years. Meanwhile, the studios and their private equity puppet masters...
It's Ironheart, chat. It's Ironheart. Don't you just love Riri Williams?
Meanwhile, the studios and their private equity puppet masters have done...
Don't you just love Riri Williams, chat? The girl who basically stole Tony Stark's armor and is heralded as a genius.
Everything they could to reduce costs in other ways by bypassing the writers and actors entirely. One way you might have noticed is their obsession with cranking out more reality TV.
Okay, yeah, this is just what I was saying earlier. That's even a problem in cable. Is everything is just cranking out reality TV because it's easy. It is so literally sold her soul. Wait, did she? Did she, Slosh? I don't remember that. I just remember her stealing Tony Stark's armor and being like, "Oh, I'm a genius." Yeah, yes, Fractured, exactly. Yeah, she had to have her teacher forcibly tell her. Well, she forced her teacher to say, "Oh, you can't be Tony Stark." Oh, they put it in the show too. That's hilarious because that was in the comic. I want to say she was created by Brian Michael Bendis. Oh, and also, I just want to endorse something here. If you're going to... If you're going to watch a version of Ironheart, you should watch the Japanese version. Because the Japanese version is way better. I'm just saying. So, yeah. Okay, she sold her soul to Mephisto. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. But what I was looking up was, I think, so I want to say she was created by, yes, Brian Michael Bendis. So Brian Michael Bendis, if you don't know who he is the guy who wrote the Ultimate Spider-Man comics for pretty much since the beginning. And he is the creator of Miles Morales. So it makes sense that he created Riri Williams. Because he, I guess he just really wanted that sweet character creation royalty money. And so yeah, Brian Michael Bendis, he used to write decent comics, but now he's just fallen really far into the, writing all this garbage. But yeah, so you can thank, so Riri Williams came from the same place as Miles Morales. So you have Brian Michael Bendis to thank for that. Sold it off to Borat. Oh yeah, they had Borat play Mephisto. This is why I hate modern Marvel. Miles Morales came out around 2011, I think. So he was created while Obama was in office. But there is also, and part of the reason that they created, but like Bendis has been writing this stuff for a long time, but it's the same guy. But part of the reason Miles Morales was created was because that guy Donald Glover, if you know who he is, he's a black guy. He was in Community. He's also like a rapper or something. But he kept whining that he wanted to play Spider-Man, but he couldn't because he's black, and so that was part of the reason that they made Black Spider-Man. Was Miles Morales? They made Miles Morales was for that. And there was actually a Spider-Man comic that was kind of weird with Obama in it. It was a very weird comic in like 2008. But yeah, I forgot that they had like Borat play Mephisto. And this is just another one of the reasons that I hate all this modern Marvel. Yeah, Gay Lando, exactly. Slosh, that's Donald Glover, yeah. He was decent in Community though. But yeah, so that's just one of the reasons that I hate modern Marvel, is that they just keep making a mockery of all these really interesting and incredible stories, because the original Mephisto is terrifying. He is straight up demonic. He is about as close as you'll get to the devil in Marvel Comics. And it seems like so far the best adaptation of Mephisto is probably still Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which, if you're not familiar with it, it is an incredible game from 2006. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I still think the first one is the best one. Yeah, Childish Gambino, Yep, this is America BLM build video. Yep, exactly. And everyone was praising it, even though it's terrible. If you haven't played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it came out in 2006. Neo, how you doing, man? Good to see ya.
The more the magicer.
But, yeah, so if you haven't played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, at least the first one, it's worth playing. If you can find a copy on PC, it's pretty easy to find. There are tons of mods. I actually made a Robin mod, like, this was probably 10 years ago. There's a Batman mod, there's a Superman mod, so you can put in like tons of characters, and there are like there's some stuff that makes it a little easier to do that too. But yeah, so highly recommend playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and it is such a good adaptation of a lot of these Marvel characters. Doctor Strange is in it if you like him. Ghost Rider, I think Punisher's in it. So I feel like those kinds of characters too. But you go through, the ultimate villain is Doctor Doom, and the plot is basically Doctor Doom is scheming to steal Odin's powers. And it's just really cool. Like, I think it is the first game to have like the full-on Marvel Avengers style team up. And so it's just so much fun. I highly recommend it. It is, in my opinion, a better adaptation of everything Marvel than pretty much anything after, say, 2012. But yeah, back to the original topic. Yeah, reality TV. Reality TV sucks, but it's cheap, and so they just keep pumping it out because people will swallow that garbage. Especially the people with the nose rings we were talking about earlier.
It fills out a streaming services library while costing far less to make. Private equity firms have coordinated on this because each one has exactly the same goal: reduce costs, increase shareholder profits. They operate on a short-term basis so that they can sell the stock, or just sell it to the next private equity firm in a couple of years if they overstretch what they already bought. This way there's never actually any long-term thinking or passion behind any
Oh, it's
project
Riri
today.
again.
Not even in the media reporting on any of these films. The entire industry has been sold out completely. However, the most important thing here is that the only way they compete with each other now is through the hoarding and use of intellectual property. Those IPs and content sources that keep people on your streaming platform rather than the competitors. And this is where the industry is today.
Yeah, and this is a real problem because they're just competing on brand name now. By intellectual property, that's basically what he's talking about. It's just the brand name. They're literally just trying to compete on the brand name of whatever they're pumping out rather than actually trying to make any good movies or good shows. It's just, oh, look, we have a new Marvel thing. And it's complete garbage, but people will still swallow it up because why wouldn't they? It's normie slop. That's really what it is. And, you know, people will complain about, well, that's the thing. It's not just the woke. I think it's when things start getting popular, the normies will start invading, and then things will start being made for, you know, the wider audience, so to speak. And, you know, they don't know anything about it. They have no passion for the characters, the stories. And so they'll just swallow up whatever's put in front of them. As long as it's made on, you know, as long as on a technical level it's competent. They'll take it. And that's how hobbies get ruined, in my opinion. Because they start being made for normies instead of for fans. So it happened to comics, it's happening to video games, all the Western stuff. And it's going to happen to anime. Mark my words, it will happen to anime. Because Japan is trying to become more globalized to appeal to more audiences, to make more money. So one way or another, I think it's going to happen to anime as well. So anime is not a safe refuge.
Solely focus on the IP wars rather than anything else. And unfortunately that seems to be the future of the entire industry. Here's why. Today's studio executives all generally agree that you need...
Yeah, exactly, Fractured. And I mean, the localizers are a real problem because they're doing a bad job. In my opinion, like, I don't have a problem with localizers that are actually respectful. I think it's great if you can bring something to a different audience and create fans. I think that's different. So I have no problem with you'll have people all over, and these are, and you know, I hate to attack people, but you know, these are the people that you really would just call weebs. But they'll whine at you if you tell them, oh, hey, I like this anime. I liked, let's say, I think I've seen like 2 animes that weren't just like random stuff on TV. One Punch Man. You know, I'll say, oh, I liked One Punch Man. And they'll go, oh, yeah, One Punch Man is good. And then this is how you trigger them, by the way. You say, yeah, I love the English dub. Yeah, I watched the English dub. It was great. And then they'll go, oh, no, you can't be watching the dub. You have to watch the subs. Oh, what's wrong with you? Watching dubs is so bad. Oh, you can't watch dubs. Even if it's a fine dub, they'll just be like screeching at you about it. But that's the thing, is like, I don't know Japanese. I prefer voice acting and, you know, just to be able to understand it directly without having to read its subtitles. So I think it's fine to enjoy a dub if it's a competent dub, as long as they're not changing the author's intent. And I think most creators would prefer that you see, even if it's imperfect, you see something at least faithful to their work than, you know, you not see it at all, or you see a version and just not understand it. So I think it's fine to enjoy dubs. And the irony of it all is that if some Japanese guy, you know, if I were talking to some Japanese guy and he goes, oh, you know, I love Batman, the animated series. I'll go, oh, that's awesome. I love Batman. He goes, yeah, I watched that Japanese dub. I don't know if there's a Japanese dub, but, you know. He goes, oh, I watched that Japanese dub. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, the English version's better. You know, you get Kevin Conroy's voice acting, which is legendary, but hey, as long as you enjoyed it, I'm happy, you know? I'm just happy that people are enjoying it rather than being all ridiculous about how they enjoy it. But the thing is, you know, especially if the guy goes, yeah, and so then I buy a bunch of Batman comics, and now I play the Arkham games, you know, because that's a new fan. That's the kind of person you want. But what's really happening is you're just getting people who will just go see whatever the latest slop movie is, and then they'll go, oh yeah, that's so cool, I'm gonna buy a t-shirt. Oh yeah, that's so cool, I'm gonna like buy a t-shirt, I'm gonna like wear it, and then everyone's gonna go out like, I'm such a nerd, lol. Because that's the kinds of people that these things are targeting now. And yeah, it's going to yeah, exactly, they have the Western bug, and that's who they're trying to appeal to, not just Western audiences, but like the normie Western audience is really who they're trying to appeal to. And that's really where the problem is. And exactly, Slash, everything has to be a franchise now. Everything has to appeal to the consumer at large. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It has to appeal to the mass market. And I mean, this is kind of, in a vaguely related way, this is what happened with comics. So this is when everything started becoming a big event, you know, so originally in the old days, comics were just like, you'd get a lot of one-off stories or you'd get some story arcs, but everything was somewhat self-contained. Now everything has to be a giant event. And I think that's really, at least for Marvel in the mid-2000s with Civil War, that's where it started. That is when I think they ran out of good ideas. That is when the industry started dying, because they couldn't write anything new. Yeah. And yeah, I understand, Fractured. You usually go to fan subs if you want to watch anime or read manga. Yeah, I do understand that. But, like, just in my personal opinion, I really, really like being able to hear good voice acting that I can understand. Because, like, also part of it, I'm, like, I guess kind of a voice acting enthusiast. Like, you guys probably know I go on and on about how great Kevin Conroy was. So, like, I'm really into voice acting, so, you know, I appreciate good voice acting, so that's part of it for me, too. But yeah. And I'm hoping that maybe AI can help with that. You know, cut out the woke localizers, at least.
You need around 200 million subscribers to keep a major streaming platform alive and well. This takes an insane amount of money to get enough content and keep people subscribed. Netflix spent around $17 billion on content in 2024 alone. They can afford it as by far the largest and most profitable streaming platform around. In fact, only 3 studios have this many subscribers: Amazon, Netflix, and Disney. When you
keep in mind that for Amazon, in a lot of ways, this stuff is kind of a vanity project, because Amazon's core business is, of course, their shopping and their cloud stuff. But Netflix and Disney, like, they live and die on their content.
When you combine their 2 platforms. For the others, it's just a completely different story. There just isn't enough to go around, with every studio trying to take their own slice of the pie, and the smaller ones are taking a heavy financial beating. According to the New York Times, in 2023, Paramount lost $1.6 billion in streaming, Comcast lost $2.7 billion, and even Disney lost $2.6 billion despite their massive size. And so how are they dealing with—
Oh no! What happened? Oh no, how terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Yeah, that is true. That is true, Neo. Disney does have their parks and cruise lines and merch. But the thing is that all of that is still based around their media, right? So Amazon, the stuff they sell has nothing to do with Amazon Prime Video, mostly. Whereas in Disney's case, like their parks, their cruise lines, and their merch, all of that is centered around the media that they produce. So, you know, you're not just buying, well, I suppose the cruises might be a little different, but in general, when you go to a Disney park or Disney cruise, or you buy like Disney merchandise, you're buying stuff for the brand, not just random stuff. So that's the case for them. So yeah, they do have multiple lines of income, but it all kind of depends on their various types of media.
Dealing with these catastrophic losses, and all the losses happening in the box offices right now for these companies. Well, private equity has dealt with this in their usual short-sighted way by squeezing every last drop out of their subscriber base. Not thinking long-term, not thinking about customer satisfaction, and not thinking about future great movie making. Just short-term decisions to sell the stock. To do this,
Yeah, because that's what private equity does. They're strip mining companies to make short-term profits, and then you take the losses. It's literally that old phrase. What was it? Privatize profits, socialize losses. That's basically what they're doing.
To do this, they've raised prices as high as they dare, and they've added adverts with extra charges to remove them. The end result is similar to shrinkflation. You get less than before for even higher.
Yeah, so shrinkflation. That's basically what you're getting. You get less stuff, and they increase the price. Sometimes you'll only get less stuff, but you know, just to like, and they'll keep the price the same just to mask it for a while. But yeah, it always gets worse. Hey, Snap, good to see you, man. Not too bad. We are just reacting to what I tried to react to last week when nobody could hear anything and I messed up. So, you know, this time it seems like it's coming through okay. So,
the more the magicka.
Higher prices, completely ruining all customer satisfaction. One of the worst things you can do in business, but this can't go on forever. As we zoom out, we'll see that for once, this greed could actually be punished, and finally the consequences of these short-term actions will hit these companies even harder. The shrinkflation comparison reveals why.
Oh god, Cadbury. Maybe it's just because I'm hungry, but god, I miss old Cadbury. Have you ever had like real Cadbury chat? Actually, Patty Quinn, if you're still here, I don't know. Patty, are you in Britain or are you just a fan of British soccer? Because I think in Britain the Cadbury is still the same, but here I think Hershey bought out Cadbury years ago, and they turned Cadbury into just Hershey, so it just tastes a lot like Hershey. But Cadbury is by far the superior chocolate, and I loved it so much. And they used to sell it in India as well. So when and like my dad is like me in a lot of ways. He loves sweets, and when he was growing up in India, and when we would visit India, I'd have some Cadbury chocolate, and it was so much better than the stuff we have here. Hey, Kay, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Classic Cadbury's Peak, hell yeah. Oh yeah. Let me play this really quick.
The more the magicka.
Yeah, as the great Doheny said, the more the magicka. Yeah, Snap. Exactly. The slop at Target. Yeah, it's not as good because what they're selling you is an inferior product. They're just selling you Hershey's effectively. But if you get like real Cadbury, it is so good, and it's something to do with what Hershey's uses in their chocolate. I've actually heard foreign people say Hershey's chocolate tastes like vomit, and there's a particular ingredient that they use. Let's ask. Why does Hershey's chocolate? Oh, there you go. Why does Hershey's chocolate taste like vomit? It's pretty funny. Let's see. It is butyric acid. So it is something that Hershey's chocolate has in it for whatever reason. And so that's why people think it tastes like vomit. And I think Cadbury, whatever they did to Cadbury's manufacturing in America, probably introduced butyric acid into their chocolate as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't catch you on side scrollers because, first of all, I woke up at like 2 because, you know, I'm fun employed. So, you know, I just wake up at like 2 p.m. now. But yeah, sounds like it was great. Hope you had a good time on side scrollers. I don't know what the pacifier thing is all about, but I hope you enjoy your new pacifier. Yeah, Hershey's is ass. Yeah, I never had so bad chocolate. I don't know why. Yeah, Jerry, it might be the butyric acid, but yeah, Neo likes Hershey chocolate. I mean, it is chocolate after all, but you know. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I think did Hershey's try to compete with Cadbury by making the Symphony chocolates? I vaguely remember Symphony chocolate. Michael had Cadbury cream eggs. Yeah, I remember those. And then I remember they like banned them or something at one point for some reason. and now they're legal again. I forget the exact lore behind those. Actually, let's look it up. Cadbury cream eggs. Cadbury cream eggs, originally Fry's cream egg. Yeah, that makes sense. They're imported from the United Kingdom. Maybe not. I don't know. I could have sworn that there was something where they were illegal at one point. But anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, the Hershey's Symphony chocolate Snap was talking about. Hershey's Symphony. Let's see. Looks like it still exists. Introduced in 1989, the Symphony bars were made in production today. Let's see. I don't see anything about it trying to compete with Cadbury, but I suppose it would make sense. But it still exists, and I've never had it. Yeah, people are saying it's good. Yeah, well, if I ever saw one, I might pick one up and try it. Even though I am on a cut. But, you know. But yeah. Yeah, I miss classic Cadbury, chat. I miss it so much. They have this, and I don't even know where you would get it nowadays, but there is a... Ah, gotcha, Snap. There is a chocolate bar called Flake. That is Cadbury, from Cadbury. This is amazing. They don't sell it here. They don't sell it in America, which is awful. But it's got this really, it's got this really cool texture that like crumbles when you eat it, and it's difficult to explain unless you've had it. And I had it, yeah, I've had it before, but it is so good. If you ever get the chance to try Cadbury Flake, give it a try because it is delicious. God, all this chocolate talk is not good for my cutting phase. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to your stream tonight, Kay. Oh, you've had it, Kay? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love Flake. My dad introduced me to it, and it's so good. That Milky Bar, the white chocolate. I've never had that. Milky Bar. Milky Bar. Oh, that's interesting. I've never had this one. I'd be interested in trying it sometime, but I've never been a huge white chocolate guy. I'm really more of a dark chocolate guy. But yeah, that looks good. Yeah. Oh yeah, and Kay, I am looking forward to tonight's podcast. I may or may not have found something to send James. It's not going to be as good as Tales of the Shire. It's not going to be as good as Tales of the Shire. I know how much you love Tales of the Shire, Kay, but it's going to be a good one. Oh, okay, your family's British, so that makes sense, yeah. I think a lot of times... yeah, Neo, exactly. Melee Madness is tonight, I'm pretty sure. Michael, you have the Milky Bars every Easter? Huh, interesting. Yeah, so my family's from India, so a lot of the stuff you get in Britain ends up getting into... a lot of the stuff in Britain ends up getting into India as well. And so, you know, whenever I've been there, I've been able to try... I've been to the UK once because I had a great uncle who lived there. He passed away a very long time ago. He bought me one of my first Spider-Man action figures. So, you know, I'll always remember that. He was really nice. But yeah, they have much better chocolate than we do. There was also another one, and I don't know if anybody's gonna know this one. There's one called Gems. I think this might be exclusively India, but chocolate gem. Maybe not. Maybe they changed the branding, but basically it's like M&Ms, but they taste kind of different. It's like a lighter chocolate kind of taste. It's difficult to describe. But I remember that. Maybe it is this. I don't know. Milk chocolate, I assume. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they changed the branding, but who knows. But they were good too. Tales of the Shire isn't real in your life. Oh, it's gonna be real, Kay. You know it'll be real, because James is gonna make you play it one of these days. New fanfic unlocked. Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I know Dustborn was her game of the year last year, so I think her Tales of the Shire is gonna be her 2025 game of the year. Let's see. Can't say you're not a fanfic writer anymore. Yeah, because of the event the event you guys did. Yeah, that was hilarious. Crazy how the fanfic trope has been dragged out. Oh yeah. Well, I still remember when this was a long time ago, and you could probably still find it in the Discord, in their Discord if you look for it. I made an AI write some Office fan fiction, and then I posted it, and I said, "Hey, I found some of Kay's fan fiction from The Office." Just thinking about Tales of the Shire brings an anger out of you. Oh, well. Well, that's how I felt about Suicide Squad, Kay, so, I get it. And James is going to have to play Suicide Squad at some point, so, yeah, there's that. Oh.
The classic example for this is a chocolate bar. The big candy companies like Cadbury have steadily shrunk the product while keeping the price the same or even increasing the price. Most people don't really have a choice when it comes to things like cheap chocolates, so they can get away with it as long as their competitors do the same. But unfortunately for movie studios and their private equity overlords, people actually do have a real choice when it comes to streaming platforms. Through all this cost cutting, penny pinching and terrible business practices, private equity forgets that people have an entirely free option if they ever get sick of the major streaming platforms. And of course, we're in no way endorsing piracy here, but this is just an inevitable economic consequence of offering a bad service. As we zoom out to the wider industry surrounding digital content, we'll see this in full effect. Valve are the kings of digital content distribution thanks to the long-lasting dominance of Steam.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there, Kay. It feels like May. It feels like it was just May. And then I blinked, and all of a sudden it is mid-August. How did that happen? How did my summer vacation, my permanent summer vacation, just flew by? Cadbury cream eggs every Easter, Michael. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's pretty cool.
Games are an industry that encourages piracy.
Yeah, so he's not endorsing piracy. Yeah, well, you have to say that, Jerry. You have to say that because of the TOS. But yeah, so he's talking about Steam here, and that's exactly it. Netflix used to be a lot like Steam, where everything was there. The service model was a little different. Obviously, you pay for it, and you stream everything instead of owning the game. But in the way that Steam is, everything is generally on one platform. There are a couple of other platforms like GOG. I always endorse GOG because of their DRM-free campaign, and they're doing a lot for preservation. But in general, you have these one or two platforms and everything is there. Whereas everything is so fragmented now everywhere else. And Steam does a good job, usually. Also, I feel the need to point out that this guy, he talks about Steam, and then at least 4 of the games he's put up here, I know for a fact, are porn. At least. And I'm pretty sure this top one here in the middle, this Honey Select 2, I'm pretty sure that's a VR game. So if you chatters want some VR porn, you can look that up. There are lots of mods for that too, I think. Not that I would know. Not that I would know. I'm not old enough to know. Yeah. Oh, the oatmeal. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I remember the oatmeal raisin cookies. I also hate oatmeal raisin cookies. Oatmeal chocolate chip can be okay, but don't put raisins in cookies. That's just wrong. Cadbury cream eggs, so good, but I saw an ad recently of 2 gay guys going at it and eating one, so I'm repulsed right now. Oh, was it kind of like this, Kay? Was it kind of like Exactly, Neil. Oatmeal raisins are lies. Oh, it's not this one. Here we go. Was it like this, Kay? Was this similar to the ad you saw? Behold, our newest ad campaign. Tasty. Are you sure this will help us sell more burgers? Burgers. But yes, yeah. Oh, there are even spicier stone tosses I like that I can't even show on stream. At least I don't think I can. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, stone toss is always almost always on point. But yeah, if you're looking for a high quality VR porn game, I don't know anything about that, but this top middle one here, Honey Select 2, may or may not be a game that exists that has VR capabilities and may or may not have a lot of mods for just about anything you want. But I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Can't believe I shaved my dick for this.
Encourages piracy like no other, especially now that you're probably going to be downloading them whether you follow the law or not. Meanwhile, Steam has remained on top for years now, despite other companies like Tencent through Epic Games throwing billions and billions at trying to unseat them. Despite how many new games they give away, despite how easy pirating is.
Yeah, Slosh. I remember that was one of Dave Landau's first, back when I still watched Tim Pool show. That was one of his first appearances. And it was it was physically painful to watch because Landau just kept throwing out line after line after line, and it was amazing. And Tim is the worst part of his own show. I've always said that, and he just kept going on and on and on and on about whatever politisperging nonsense he does. And of course, the other co-hosts are afraid to say a whole lot because Tim is just steamrolling over everyone else. But like the context of the clip is Tim is saying some like really long politisperging thing about he's like blabbering about, you know, AI is going to do this and that, blah 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 blah, and then Dave just throws out this line out of nowhere.
Can't believe I shaved my dick for this.
And it, like, nobody in the room reacted, but I was cracking up because it was just such a perfect line, just a perfect response to Tim's political blabbering. Yeah, exactly. Stone Toss gets under people's skin so easily. Yeah, he totally does. Yeah, Snap. Tim is still making content. Last year, I think it was last year. Man, time really has flown by. He had a big meltdown when he was having a kid, or he had a kid, and he got married. He got married after his girlfriend got pregnant. And this was actually when Dave Landau was on as well. Not where I got this clip from, but Dave Landau was on when Tim had his meltdown. And he started doing the weirdest things. Like, he was talking about how great middle managers are and how much he feels he needs middle managers. Then he started, like, after that, he, like, fired a bunch of people. He fired that girl Hannah, who I actually liked. She was probably one of the best sidekicks that he had, because she actually had decent takes most of the time. Now she's on the quartering with Melanie Mack, and yeah, she's acting more like Melanie Mack a little bit, but it's not so great. But, you know, back then she was cool. But yeah, he fired her, he fired a bunch of other people, and yeah, it's been weird. Yeah, there's the whole Russian money thing. Yeah, she's flat, Melanie flat. You know, PPP screaming that just lives rent-free in my head. So, so Kay, and Slosh, Tim totally has Matt Walsh stick in the mud energy. Yeah, Slosh, exactly. Hannah is now on the quartering show, but it's not as good. Because when she was on Tim Pool's show, she was like kind of the voice of reason a lot of times, whereas everyone else just kind of stunk, especially Tim. I mean, there's Ian, but Ian's very different. Ian is like this lovable doofus. But she was like actually putting out good takes here and there. Yeah. So with Kay and Jared talked about how Tim Pool was supposedly taking Russian money. Basically, there was this thing called Tenet Media. So Tenet Media, which I'm gonna avoid Wikipedia for that, but I don't know if there's a good source for it. But basically, at least the accusation is, so if you know Lauren Chen, I always liked Lauren Chen because she was really hot. Yes, Kay, that is Ian. That is Ian. I love Ian. Ian was one of the few things that made Tim Pool watchable. So basically, if you know Lauren Chen, she was really hot, and that's probably mostly why I watched her, if I'm being honest. But so she and her husband supposedly took money from Russia, and they started this thing called Tenet Media, where they were buying, allegedly they were buying content from a bunch of people who are here. So Tim Pool was one of them. There's also Benny Johnson, Lauren Southern, Dave Rubin, and a couple other people. And so it seems that the creators they bought stuff from didn't really know that they were buying, that they were indirectly working for Russian nationals. So they were unwitting participants. But yeah, so supposedly they did take Russian money, but it seems like Lauren Chen and her husband are the only ones that actually knew about it. And I still don't know all the details with the Lauren Chen situation. She just kind of disappeared after that, so I don't know how much she knew either. Quartering is garbage to listen to. I don't know why people would listen to rambling for hours. Yeah, I listened to the Quartering for a long time, and he rambles a lot. I call him Jeremy Rambly because that's like all he does is ramble on and on and on. But at least he used to do a better job of covering things. Like, he was a decent source of news. Same with Tim Pool. Although Tim Pool doesn't ramble, he just kind of steamrolls. He's just kind of babbling on and on and on. But they were at least good sources of news back then. So that's why I watched them. Let's see. Jeremy's started streaming pipeline. It started down back in 2019 when Marvel came out. Yeah, kind of. For me, I think it was like Geeks and Gamers where it started. Yeah, so for me, it was Geeks and Gamers where I started watching some of this stuff, and then that's how I found a lot of these other people. Their talking points for Straight Outta Russia Today. Yeah, I suppose so. You found John Slosh. You found John Campia. Isn't that the guy who hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick? Then the G&G crew, then Craig, and now Melee and Yule. Okay, well, I'm glad you found everybody, Slush. Yeah, I mean, I do like Craig. I know people criticize side-scrollers and starting Craig and stuff, but I don't know. I haven't watched side-scrollers in a while, but I still like Craig. I think he's a nice guy. Yeah, exactly. No Campy's hunted for Toby's dick. Yeah, Snap, you used to watch Quartering during the 2017 election. He was a lot better. Yeah, he used to be a lot better. I think he's just started, like, grifting his coffee and stuff a lot. And a lot of times, it seems like when they expand is when these creators get annoying. Same with Tim Pool. He was actually pretty decent, like, 10 years ago. Well, not 10 years ago, because I didn't watch him back then, but, like, yeah, that 2017-ish time. Back when he was mostly just himself. He was pretty good. And now Tim Pool has a porn game. He doesn't actually, but there's a joke about. So I don't know how much of this I can show, but there is a game called Subverse. It's a porn game. But Tim Pool also had a company called Subverse. And so there was like this whole lawsuit situation. And so the game actually put in a segment where there's like a crab or a lobster or something with a beanie, and they were literally just mocking Tim Pool. The game isn't very good, but you know, that was a pretty good joke. Yeah, exactly, Kay, you remember that. Yeah. Snap, you dislike. Oh, Neo doesn't get the hate for Quartering, he's so milquetoast. Yeah, I don't totally hate the Quartering. The problem is that he has had some really boomer takes lately. and that is what has been putting me off. Kind of like with Melanie Mac, but with less energy. Snap, when you say Snap, are you referring to the quartering who over sensationalizes things? Is that what you're saying? To me, Jerry says Craig knows what he's doing. Like, isn't it a coincidence? Side schoolers blew up. Well, I mean, I think Craig knows what he's doing, but I mean, in terms of like the drama and things like that people criticize him over, I think he's at least maybe I just want to believe people. Maybe I just want to see the good in people, but I think that Craig is trying to be a nice guy. Like when he refused to, with I think there was Short Fat Otaku drama with Kirsha, and then same with the Razor Fist thing when Razor Fist got horribly felted on side scrollers and everyone learned about him being a lolcow, which I had actually known for a while. And Craig wouldn't really criticize them. I think that's because he's just trying to be nice. But, you know, maybe that's just me wanting to believe he's nice. But yeah, Campia also said he wished 30k of his anti-subscribers would F off after the Astrid news from the Dragon movie came out. I was like, okay, if you do. Yeah, I never watched John Campia. I don't know anything about him. I've never seen the appeal. I just don't get it. And yes, Kay, either he sued the porn game or he threatened to. Yeah, so that was the lawsuit I was referring to, and then that's why they made fun of him. Is they put a character, first game, Tim Pool. Oh yeah, here you go. Suckverse.
Those total losers! I'm going to make them regret they ever messed with Tim Pool.
This is in the game.
You there. Bring your weapons and follow us. We're going to kill every last one of these assholes threatening my brand. I spent the last 121 years working without a single day
And they
off
totally
to try
nailed
and
it
secure
too.
investment for my beanie shopping network, Suckverse. And now, some dirty fucking brothel came along and stole my name. Can you believe that shit? Suckverse is the perfect name for a beanie shopping network. Why don't people get that? These people try to tell me that I don't have the copyright? I shouldn't need the copyright. I've been shitting out content for Suckverse for years. And now, I'm no longer the top search result on the HoloNet. After all my hard work, everyone that looks for my network is just gonna get a face full of alien titties and dongs. I don't want to be associated with porn.
And I think I think Tim also tried to sue his brother over the Subverse trademark too, like his own brother. I think he tried to sue him over that too. Tim Pool's hair came as a shock, but he does rock that beaniness. Yeah. Exactly, Viva Miss. Exactly, Jerry. So, when Tim, and you know what, I might play the Matan Evan clip as well, just because it's so good, just 'cause it's so funny. When Tim takes off the beanie, he looks like a man in his 40s who's trying to look young, but with the beanie on, he looks like he could be like in his early 30s. So like the beanie really does make him look younger. John's Hood Sandler's clip is amazing. I haven't seen that. Yeah, Snap, exactly. Because so this game is called Subverse, but Tim also had a company called Subverse, and that is why they made fun of him, because Tim was threatening them with like a copyright lawsuit. Yeah, dim fool. Yeah. Well, oh yeah, that's a common one. Yeah. Nothing wrong with some parody at all. Jeez, Beanie, why so sensitive? Yeah, exactly. HoloNet, that's Mass Effect. Is it? Did they call it the HoloNet, Neo?
What do you mean you think porn is better? That gross shit is for losers. Beanies are way cooler. No wonder I kept finding investors with idiots like you around. You know what? Fuck the brothel. We're gonna kill you first. How could you try to kill me when I'm already trying to kill you first? That is so uncool. I'm gonna talk all about this next time I get on the Bro Bogan podcast.
Bro Bogan.
Oh, and one more thing, fucker. Before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe.
I should clip that and use it. Just this part right here. Just this bit right here.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, I should probably clip that at some point. But yeah, because apparently YouTube really cares about that now. So like and subscribe if you can. Would appreciate it. But yeah, so that's simple. And yeah, since we're on the topic, I'm just gonna pull it up. Yeah, you're right. I am going to... I'm going to make a note of that. Clip this for like and subscribe. I also need to make an Obama deepfake of that I am not gay bit. You know the video I'm talking about, the one where the Law and Order one where the guy goes, "I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men." I need to put Obama's face on that. And his voice. Okay, yeah, that's... I thought... Yeah, see, Neo, I thought so. I thought Mass Effect was something else. It's the extranet. Michael says, I had to drop Melanie Mac. She's too preachy when she decided to go after Sydney Sweet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Michael. Yeah, I dropped Melanie Mac a long, long time ago. I only even subscribed to her because the quartering... I know, don't hate me, but the quartering said she was cool, you should subscribe to her. So I was like, okay, I'll check someone out. And then she got all preachy really fast, and then I just dropped it. And especially like when they started, like, I know there are people who don't like Smash JT. I personally think he's a really nice guy. Every interaction I've ever had with him has been very positive. But like when like she and Quartering and Razorfist and all those guys were ganging up on Smash JT and trying to attack him just for defending basically the right to consume whatever content you want, that's when they all fell off. Well, Razorfist fell off for me a long time ago, but that's when the rest of them fell off for me. Somebody hasn't put Obama's on that clip. They might have if it's on like Twitter or something, but at least I couldn't find anything like that on YouTube. I can't be a clip in Discord with timestamp. Nice. I might take a look at that later. But yeah, so Matan, Evan, Tim, Poole. He put the bald face in the thumbnail. He changed the thumb. So I saw this like when he put it out, and Tim still had his beanie in the thumbnail. So he changed. Matan changed the thumbnail on Tim, and he even added the Russian flag because he like asks him. He asks him in the show about the Russian stuff. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that Tim had Matan on his channel too. I don't know if I'll watch it just because Tim's kind of annoying. But
Hello,
yeah.
everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, here it is.
Hold on. You have to. Can you leave it off for a little bit? Okay. Oh, correct. Sworn. Pinky.
Matan basically says he'll pay Tim to take the beanie
You're
off.
gonna tell me you didn't tell me when you took the hat off. I know these games. There's no way you're gonna do
I will take my hat off in this chair right now within 10 seconds if you put that money in my hand.
Wow, I can't believe that happened. Hold on. You have to. Can you leave it off
for a little bit?
Okay, that's cool. I got like a special.
I'm greasy right now too, though.
You do actually have more hair than I thought you would.
Do I?
Can I have the Pepto-Bismol?
Why?
I have a sudden stomach ache.
I will say this though. I will give props to Tim for actually taking it off and following through. Slosh, I think Tim is pushing 40. So, but he's looked like this for a long time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Nothing will beat the Matan Sam interview when Sam brought in his army of Indians. It was just so funny. Like I was dying at the 2 for 99, 2 for 99, and then when Sam just like smashed the table, that was amazing. Yeah, I've randomly been watching the Matan's interviews. I don't know if you guys if you guys watch him often enough, you'll notice he's always telling people that he's about to interview some guy named Longneck at the end of every episode. And I thought that was just like a running gag. I didn't think there was a real Longneck, but it turns out that he actually did interview a guy called Longneck at one point. And I guess the interview was just so bland and boring that I guess he just made a joke out of it. But yeah. So yeah, I will give Tim some credit for actually taking the beanie off, because he's usually very afraid to do that. But he puts it on like a minute later.
Well, good on you for doing that.
Yeah, he just puts it right back on.
That was for you, Matan.
I was.
I'll tell you.
The thing is, chat, I was expecting when he took it off, I was expecting there to be another very small hat. A very small hat. I'm sure you can guess what kind of hat I'm talking about. I was expecting a very small hat underneath the beanie, but he didn't have one. Someone made a Mike fan YouTube channel. They do that cheesy editing with... Yeah. I think I've seen that channel, but you know what? Mike is okay. Mike is okay, but I really miss Viral Flooring. If you remember Viral Flooring, he was the guy who would just... He was the guy who would just sit there and grin the whole time. He was like smiling, and he just had this eternal smile. I miss that guy. Yeah, Slosh, that shows some self-awareness, not a complete loco, exactly. Toucan hat? Toucan hat? No. So Fractured, I believe they call the hat a yarmulke or a kippa. I don't know the difference, because I'm not Jewish. So Snap, Tim is not of the chosen people, but he is always simping for Israel. Like, always. Which makes me wonder who his APAC guy is. But yeah, we should probably wrap this thing up. Man, we're just going on so many tangents. I love tangents. Tangents are fun.
As people just prefer to use Steam. Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve.
Yes, they have big beaks, Slosh, right? They have big beaks. But yeah. But no, I don't think they cut the tip off the toucan's beak though, Slosh.
Valve is often quoted when it comes to piracy.
What's Valve's take on piracy?
Piracy to us, so we don't really worry about piracy. You know, when we think, you know, when you look at the top 10 issues on our list at any given point in time.
Yeah, Jerry, exactly. That's how you know. That is how you know it's a good stream, Jerry. When you're 2 hours into the stream, but you're only like 2/3 of the way through the video. Yeah, Jerry's walking in here, and he's watching the stream, and he's
Can't
just
believe
like,
I shaved my dick for this.
That's Jerry right now.
Piracy is almost never, you know, something that's on that list. And the reason that we think that we don't have issues with...
Oh, it was a nose joke, Slosh. Oh, gotcha. No. Like the little hats they wear on top of their heads. They call it... I've heard it called a yarmulke, and I've heard it called a kippa, and maybe they're different things, but yeah, it's like the little skull cap type thing that they put like right on their bald spot.
With piracy is that there's misconceptions in the industry about what piracy is, right?
He must understand it.
Exactly, Snap. Exactly. The one that Ben Shapiro wears. But in his case, he always wears a black one, so it just blends right into his hair.
Having beaten it so thoroughly. Valve didn't need to worry about privacy like Gabe said because they know how it works.
I assume he misspoke. He meant piracy. But yeah, like Gaben's discussion of piracy is completely right. You call it a fupa? No, Slosh. A fupa is like the fatty upper pubic area, so it's like the gunt. You know, that's like down there. That's not a hat. Yeah, Valve is going to be DOA when Gaben is no longer there. Yeah, it's possible. I know Gaben has a kid, so who knows what Gaben's kid will be like. You know, maybe Gaben will instill good values into him, and you know. And yeah, okay, companies got to embrace piracy and view it as involuntary demos if you're consumer rights and overall based. People tend to show up and pay for your product anyways. Yeah. So at least in my case, this is also the reason I started like supporting YouTubers in general, like sending super chats and stuff, was because I subscribe to the Louis Rossmann school of thought in that if someone provides you value, you should try to support them. You know, so you know, I can't, obviously it's not realistic to support everybody, but I do try to pay, or I do try to send a little money to the YouTubers I like here and there. And yeah, I do try to buy all my games, and that's especially what I like about GOG is I pay for my game, and then I can make a completely legal, completely valid backup of my game that I own, because they will literally give me the offline installers for my games, and I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, like I'm willing to pay for things as long as it's reasonable, of course. But yeah, I want to own what I buy. Gaben's kid just likes driving cars or something, apparently. No interest in gaming. Yeah, understandable. Although it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird when, I mean, considering his dad is so huge into gaming, and I mean, he's young, and he's not interested in gaming. That is really weird to me, to be honest. But yeah, who knows? I mean, he might still be, you know, he might still do the right thing here and there. Who knows? Gaben needs his own Owen Schroyer for Valve to succeed in Legacy. Yeah, probably. Although, speaking of though, so last night I didn't really catch most of it. So Alex Jones's actual son was on Alex Stein's show last night. And
the guy,
like, this is his son, Rex Jones. And then this is Destiny's son, of all people. It's weird. Like, he got both of them on. And like, and for some reason Rex doesn't call his dad Dad. He calls his dad Alex, which is strange to me. And yeah, okay, Rex Jones and Nathaniel Bonnell. And it, like, the weirdest part is that it was surprisingly civil. Not just civil, but it was like very friendly. I didn't catch the whole thing, but Rex and Nathan, they seemed to get along surprisingly well. Like, it was a very nice conversation. Yeah, exactly, Slosh. Rex is the bald kid in the studio. And then, yeah, Nathan is the one on the bottom. The one who looks like he's walking out of Zoolander here. So, Snap, I don't have a specific video referencing Louis Rossman's take on supporting content creators, but there is a video that I would recommend on piracy in general. So there are these two videos that I would recommend. Piracy is Completely Justified, and then Is All Piracy Equal, where he goes into like different... He does the kind of autistic thing I would do and goes into like the different layers of piracy and like, you know, when is piracy okay and like how okay is piracy and all that. You know, where he talks about, like, you know, if something is offered to you reasonably and you own it, then, you know, you should pay for it. That's that kind of thing. Yeah, Snap. So I would suggest that if you can, if you want to look at that, because Lewis has a lot of good takes on this kind of stuff. Yeah, let's see. Jerry says rich kids don't game. I suppose I could see that. Rex the Chad in the studio. Yep. Video game is quite efficient per dollar shutting up your kid. Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, for me, it's not about, like, for me, it wouldn't be about shutting up my kids. It would be about, you know, giving them something to enjoy. You know, a hobby to share with my kids. You call your dad by his first name too? It stems from your mom calling your dad by his first name and not dad. Huh, interesting. So my dad calls my mom by her name, but my mom does not call my dad by his name. It's kind of weird, but it might just be like the whole traditional Indian thing where, you know, dad's in charge. Dad is the boss. Yeah, Nathan is apparently based in terrorized Destiny all the time. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome, Kay. I love that. So Destiny was on CNN recently. Walked past the TV in the living room and saw him on a contract. Well, Slosh, I hope it wasn't you who put CNN on the TV, because that would be horrifying.
Some people will just always pirate everything, and you can't reach those consumers, and there's just no point trying. But
yeah, and so those people who pirate everything, a lot of times I think those are going to be like poor people or like very young people who don't have a lot of money to pay for things anyway. So yeah, you're not going to reach those people, but keep in mind that if you leave them alone and, you know, provide them with a good service, eventually they will become fans, and they will get, when they are finally able to, they will give you money. They will pay for your stuff. Because like, in my case, I did, you know, I was one of those people, you know, I was a kid a long time ago, and I would do that. And now I think it was actually the Humble Bundle many, many years ago that had, oh, that's weird. Slosh, for some reason, Oh, there it is. Yeah, for some reason your comment didn't your chat didn't sync into the thing that replays chats here. Your dad watches it, doesn't necessarily subscribe to their views, just your... Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, my dad does the same thing. He watches, like, he'll randomly watch Fox or CNN or whatever. Sometimes he'll just turn it on and then he'll just walk away. And then we'll be like, why'd you turn it on? You're not even here. Yeah, he's as boomer conservative as you can get. Yeah, I don't think my parents are, like, boomer conservatives necessarily. Like, they are technically boomers, and at least my dad is conservative. But he's not, like, boomer conservative. He's more just, like... I guess he's just, like, default Republican. And then my mom just kind of does whatever my dad says. Which, I mean, honestly, that's kind of based. But yeah, with the piracy thing, like, I was one of those people, and now if I can, I try to pay for everything. Because, yeah, I want to support them and make sure that and try to make sure that they're able to make more stuff that I like.
But most people often want to buy games. They don't want the viruses that come with piracy, they don't want all the issues, and they might just want to support game companies.
Yeah, the convenience is also a big thing because, you know, back in the day, gaming was actually less convenient on PC because of all the random nonsense you had to do. If you wanted to do it legitimately, whereas pirating is you download the game, you run the installer. I mean, it would take some time, but it would work. These days with Steam, and I think like Ubisoft and EA are kind of making it worse in some ways, but in general with Steam, you buy your game, you download it, and you just play it. And it's much faster, it's easier, and that's a big part of it, is that they've provided a much more convenient service than piracy does.
Oftentimes, they just don't want to even break the law. There's obviously a lot of reasons not to pirate generally. People often only pirate when there's just no other choice or when they feel like there's no other choice. They simply take the path of least resistance. If everything you want to watch is on Netflix and the costs are reasonable, lots of people will just buy a Netflix subscription. But when the service is poor and expensive like it is today, a much larger proportion of people will just pirate instead. So
But here's the thing. The other thing about piracy is that when it comes to like movies and TV shows, it's not even worth pirating anymore. It's just garbage. Like, yeah, there's old stuff, sure, but the old stuff in a lot of ways is often easier to pirate. And even like, I'll use Disney Plus as an example. They don't have all the content, so there are shows that you cannot watch you can't watch the show at all, or you can't watch every episode of the show on the streaming services. So, and yeah, you know, stuff like Spotify ended music piracy to some degree, yeah, it did. But now Spotify is getting worse, too. Yeah, exactly, Cherry. Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about. You canceled all the services and you just started pirating because there's 1,000 different services with stuff. But, for example, so if you want to watch Drake and Josh, I loved Drake and Josh. That's where this clip that I've been playing whenever someone pops in.
The more the magicer.
So I loved that show growing up. If you want to watch every episode of Drake and Josh, they don't have every episode. Oh, that's weird. They have it on Netflix. Well, let's see what pops up. Get it? Go wait. Oh yeah. See, so they only have 4 episodes here from season 1. Because of in this case it's because of music licensing. So the music in a couple episodes were like the first episode is actually called Pilot, but it's not in here. So because of music licensing, there are episodes missing and that you cannot stream on any service. So the only way to watch those episodes is piracy. Another reason is 30 Rock, for example. They removed episodes because they were quote-unquote offensive. And so there are episodes of 30 Rock that you cannot watch anywhere streaming. And then there's like Disney Plus, which there's an old show I liked called House of Mouse, if you've ever heard of it. And that was like this really nice little of course. House of Mouse here. So it was just like a it was like a show where they aired a lot of like old Disney clips and cartoons and stuff like that, like little cartoon segments, and then the whole thing was stitched together with like Mickey Mouse hosting this this big like dinner theater club thing, and it was really nice. But House of Mouse is not available to stream anywhere at all. So if you want to watch it, you have to pirate it. There's no other option. Yeah, exactly. If you make it convenient and willing to invest, it depends on execution. Exactly. It just needs to be convenient and reasonably priced. And you need to own your stuff. That is also important to me. I promote even music piracy with all music on platforms is the same as the Play. But the amount of money actually going to the artists is next to nothing. Yeah. Yeah, musicians don't make a ton of money off of Spotify. And yeah, it is always better to have the lossless FLAC. And that is what I do for the music I really care about. I have like a FLAC version, or at least an MP3 saved somewhere. So that is like the Spider-Man scores I was talking about earlier. I have all of those saved locally. Is it mainly concerts and merch that musicians make cash from? Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's what I've heard, is they usually make most of their money off of concerts or merchandise. That's part of, yeah, and as Jerry says, that's part of why that we have this Ticketmaster cartel. Is, yeah, because that's where musicians have to get most of their money, and then, yeah, record executives, publishers take most of the money. Yeah, you know, House of Mouse is a really nice show. I mean, it's a kid's show, so, you know, there's that, but yeah, so, yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole with Ticketmaster, but Ticketmaster has become this weird near monopoly where they will actually blacklist musicians if they try to go around them, or I think musicians and venues. So, yeah, and as Jerry says, some of that trickles down to the artist, but the venues take a split, security costs. So it's mainly merch and special releases. Cory in the House was a great Disney show, a great pioneer influencing future anime. Yes, oh yes, snap. I was very disappointed when they canceled Cory in the House. Slosh says the Metallica tracks used for a medley were FLAC files you had to convert to MP3. Why did you have to convert them to MP3? Almost everything supports FLAC nowadays. I'm kind of surprised. Wingus says there are also shows that have been remastered or redubbed that are simply no longer available in the original version. Yeah, that'll happen too. That happens with games too sometimes, though. They'll sell like a remastered version of a game or some kind of weird re-release, and then the original version is just no longer available.
Game companies like Steam can get around this because they offer a really good service. You actually buy a game on Steam and you can download it anywhere. You're not just limited to a few designated devices, and you aren't region locked. It won't rotate out of Steam's library in a month or two, making it inaccessible. They offer something much closer to actual ownership. Meanwhile, other game companies offer such a bad service that people had to make a petition.
List of companies opposed to stop killing games. I wonder why.
Just to try and force them to do the bare minimum and actually keep a game functional that people have already paid for. It's called Stop Killing Games, and really it's just asking for the bare minimum in service. Ubisoft's game The Crew is the example that the petition uses. When it was released, it was always online and you needed to log into Ubisoft's dedicated servers to play it. Now it's old and Ubisoft wants to take the servers offline, but this will then mean a game that people paid for will just cease to function. The petition doesn't even force them to keep the servers running. Instead, all it asks for is that these companies must let players run their own private server. It's a tiny cost in the long run for these massive conglomerates, but these companies have all lobbied together to fight this. And the ironic...
Yep, see? So, and the Stop Killing Games thing is just another example of what I'm talking about, which is why I like games that are able to make it to GOG. Because everything on GOG is something that you own. You can, if you buy it, you own it, and you can pretty much always play it. I mean, yeah, within reason, obviously. If there's some kind of software incompatibility or whatever, that's a little different. But in terms of just like ownership, you have it; it's yours. Slosh says, "I'll have to see what the version of Vegas I have uses FLAC. As far as I know, I only supported MP3." Okay, so it's Sony, or Sony doesn't own it anymore, but Vegas. Okay, yeah, I don't use Vegas. So for my video editing, if I'm doing something heavy, I use DaVinci Resolve. If I'm doing something lightweight, like typically clipping my streams, I will use KDen Live, KDEN Live. And they're both pretty good. They're both free. KDEN Live is open source too. So
The ironic thing here is that the pirates have actually gotten the best service by far in the case of the crew. A cracked version of a private server has been floating around for ages now. A common consequence of the medieval attitude most companies take towards piracy is that the paying, law-abiding customers always just get punished in the end.
Pirate Chads keep winning. Well, hey, thanks for popping by, Kay. It was nice to have you in chat, and I hope you guys have a wonderful stream tonight, and I hope to see you there and torture you a little bit. But it was good to see you. Yes, Slosh. DaVinci is free. DaVinci Resolve is free, so DaVinci Resolve, yeah, and it's DaVinci Resolve is like a professional, massive video editing software. So this is what I used for all of my Amazing Comics videos when I was doing those. It's free. There is a paid version that adds a few extra features, but you don't need the paid version for most things. So, you know, if you're just like a YouTuber, like 90% of everything is free. And it even runs on Linux. So that's really nice. And then if you want something a little simpler, there's Kdenlive, which is... this is by the people who make KDE, the Linux environment. So... what Kdenlive... So Kdenlive is a bit simpler, but it's still pretty powerful. You can do a lot with it. So, and this one's also free. It works on Windows, Linux, everything. So, both worth checking out. If you want something that's cheaper than paying for Vegas. To conserve quality, Wave is supportive of virtual layout programs. Yeah, Jerry. So Wave is supported by most things, but the problem is a Wave file is typically uncompressed, as far as I know. So you're just gonna get like a giant file. Nerdy Neo, I assume you mean the law-abiding citizen, like that movie. Yeah, the law-abiding citizen always loses. Yeah, exactly, Michael. When Ticketmaster blacklists musicians and venues, yeah, it's evil, it's monopolistic behavior. But antitrust has kind of fallen in this country. Of course, Slosh, yeah. Yeah, always happy to recommend software. Because I use a lot of it.
In the end anyway. It's all typical of short-sighted decisions made because the private equity companies at the top are the ones who are really pulling the strings. And we might have praised Valve, but they aren't doing anything that amazing. They're just not buying into the same business model that everyone else seems to be following right now. But
yeah. Oh, you were mocking. Gotcha, Neo. You're mocking his accent. Yeah, yeah. That's the British for you. They sound funny. Yeah, but yeah. Well, there's actually another guy, Patrick CC, I think is the YouTube channel. He makes like he pumps out videos about random stuff, and they're not bad videos, but his accent always gets me because he has, and I didn't know this was a thing, but this is also like there was some black woman on some Star Wars thing who had the same accent, and I was like, I did not realize that the British had their own equivalent of a Valley Girl accent. And so every time this guy says Twitter, not this guy, but the guy I'm talking about, the Patrick CC guy, every time he says Twitter, he pronounces it Twitter. And it just really bothers me. It just really bothers me. And it's like what I would call the British equivalent of a Valley Girl accent. Yep. When editing, compression gets lossy really quick, but you got 1 gig wave renders. So it depends, Jerry. You probably know what I'm talking about with this, but it depends on the type of compression you use, because FLAC is lossless, right? So FLAC is like a zip file. Whatever goes in comes out 1-to-1. It's not like MP3 where they actually cut stuff out to compress it down. Yeah.
But maybe that is amazing though, just considering how every other company seems to shoot itself in the foot. It's all the result of a classic expand and squeeze model that startups have been using for years. Uber's a great example. First they took in as much investor capital as they could, expanding their service to the world while losing billions just to grow larger. Then when they had a large enough market share, they switched to squeeze model. That's when the highest surge pricing came in. for lower pay for drivers, simply just a poorer service for more money. And people...
This is another example of the whole end-shitification thing. I don't really like the term end-shitification so much, but I mean, it does work. It just sounds weird to me. But yeah, that is another, aside from the private equity thing, this is one of the other main ways that companies do that. They start off with like a whole bunch of, you know, VC venture capital investors and all of that. And then as the money starts to run out, they start squeezing for profits and making the service significantly worse.
People couldn't go back to what they used to have as it was already too late and they'd gotten too used to the service. Spotify actually did the same thing. They even used piracy to their advantage. At first, lots of their catalog was downloaded off of sites like Napster. They skirted the law and took control of the market before the big labels could organize themselves.
So isn't that kind of funny? We were just talking about Spotify earlier, how they ended music piracy, but they were involved in it originally.
Offering a better service that beats the pirates. Later, to keep their position, they made a deal with the big labels. They sold out the artists in favor of hedge funds and private equity, and it would end up making both of them far richer at the expense of the people actually making.
So again, to Spotify, I have something to say here.
Shame on you.
Most of the music. Now, Spotify's just another arm of private equity interests that already own the music industry. It was only their absolute dominance over the market that forced the labels to actually work together and accept their place. Otherwise, every major music label would have its own version of Spotify, just like we have with movie and TV streaming platforms. And you can actually tell they're all owned by private equity now just based on their decisions. You might be tired of hearing them by now because they fit the exact same pattern we've seen over and over again. Spotify even recently moved to squeeze costs by reducing royalties even more for small artists. Now, because of their arbitrary decision, each track now needs at least 1,000 streams a year to make any money at all.
Which is pretty ridiculous. Like, I mean, I get that, you know, one listen probably isn't worth a ton of money, but they really should be paying people. If you're putting your music on their service, they should be paying you for doing that.
It runs alongside their constant pressure on free users. Now you can't even choose which specific songs to listen to if you don't have a premium account. And there's even more adverts constantly interrupting the music. Meanwhile, Daniel Ek, the CEO, has invested $700 million of these profits into AI military companies. And you can bet if Netflix had taken more of the market, the big movie studios might have struck a similar deal. But instead, we got the splintered, unstable ecosystem we have today. Which brings us to the final chapter of our journey down the corporate rabbit hole. And as we zoom out to the wider internet, it's all been decimated by these same corporate tactics. Social media companies pushed forward by their investors have done everything they can to sanitize online discussion and make it suitable for advertisers. Meanwhile, the actual content has been degraded by corporate shit-sighted thinking and is now far worse. Wanna know?
Yeah, so he's just talking about how everything is being sanitized now for advertisers. I think we've seen a lot of that over the last, like, 5-10 years lately. It's pretty bad.
Want to know the release date of the next season of The Boys? This hypothetical article might tell you, but first you'll get the legally mandated cookie message. This is here because of efforts to regulate corporate data theft, and good luck finding the reject all button if there even is one. Now they're trying to hide it as much as they legally can.
So this is called a dark pattern. If you haven't heard of it, basically it is these like shady things that companies do. Deceptive patterns, yeah. Yeah, I can kind of hear it, Neo. It does kind of sound like he said shit-sighted thinking, but no. Nah, he's saying short-sighted. Yeah, so it's a dark pattern here. So what these companies do, or they basically use deceptive design tricks to make you do things that you don't really want to do. So there are some laws against it, but it's not perfect. So, yeah, there's this, I just found the site just now, but, yeah, so there are a lot of examples. Let's see if there are types. It's like, yeah, disguised ads, fake urgency, blah, 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 hard to cancel. This is a really obvious one. Hidden costs, hidden subscriptions, all of that. So that's what these companies will do. Let's see, visual interference. I don't know if there's a particular... It's forced action. So basically it's just like a very deceptive way of, as he's saying, they try to hide things as much as they legally can. So it's basically a way of deceiving the user into doing something that they don't actually want to do. Or not doing something that they do want to do.
Then there's the anti-ad blocker message next. Either you can
Chad, I will not feel bad if you use an ad blocker.
apply, or you try to bypass it some other way. Yet again, the people following the rules get invasive adverts. The people who find a way to get around them to read in peace. Then you finally get the actual article. But because the massive private equity conglomerate fired most of the writers, it would mostly be rushed out insane drivel about a show, rather than the actual question the headline asks, and will either pander to the film or diss the film based on its narrative, and the investors' preferences running the entire industry, which just makes the dead internet theory true in an entirely different way. As bots get more common and start writing all of these articles for these private equity firms, there won't even be any real human opinion here, and the more bots there are commenting and posting on all of this slop, the worse it will get and the harder it will become to find real information, made by actual humans, making the internet even creepier and more...
So there is actually something to this, and it's very, very annoying. If you're so you've probably seen this before. If you're looking for information on when, you know, the next whatever, I don't know, the next season of whatever show is coming out or something like that, a lot of times you'll get you'll get Google's stupid AI summary, and that AI summary will be based on some article that is, again, probably written by AI, saying, and it's totally speculative, so the article will say like, oh, we don't know for sure, but we speculate that it could come out in 2027. You know, season 3 of whatever show could come out in 2027, but we don't know for sure. And, you know, it's just some AI slop. And then Google's AI slop summarizer will actually use that as definitive proof and say, oh, this season 3 is coming out in 2027. And it's just straight up lying to you, effectively.
more controlled than we see today. Each inconvenience for the consumer is because of a greedy decision solely to get short-term profits and sell a company. And these short-sighted policies are really infecting everything. But because of this, it might actually help the streaming situation, as this might actually be the one sector where there will always be an alternative to the corporate routes. If it gets worse and worse, there will always be a pressure release valve as we see today. And yet these companies still wonder why piracy is massively increasing today. And if they make it even worse for the consumer, more and more people will just leave and this whole corporate ecosystem could collapse under its own weight, as too many short-term decisions end up being catastrophic. But unfortunately, this just isn't the same for other industries. We already talked about shrinkflation and chocolate bars, but other products and services have similar problems. Take cars for example, private equity is all over the manufacturers. They're the ones pushing for things like a subscription cost for heated seats. And we're not actually joking, this was a real idea pushed by BMW. Just £10 a month in the UK would unlock this feature, which they'd already added to the car. It's simply a...
See? This is exactly what I was talking about earlier with the cars. Heated seats become a subscription feature even though they're already in the car. And I mean, in theory, that should be something that's just mechanical. Right? Yeah, exactly, Slash. You fell for that, the AI slop a few times recently. This is what we know about Reacher Season 4. It'll speculated that it'll come out soon because people have Season 3 so much. Yep. That's the article. And then they just throw out, it just throws out some random year. And then Google says, oh, this is the year.
Simply a completely transparent attempt to squeeze even more money from the customers in whatever way they can. And really it just makes it even sadder that the old anti-piracy ad still isn't true. If you could actually download a car, maybe things would be a little bit different.
The funny thing about that ad, by the way, is that the font was stolen, and I think the music was also stolen. Or, well, pirated. I'll say that. The font and music, I believe, were pirated in that ad, which makes it extra funny. But yeah, that is the end of that. So I was gonna do a bit more, but we're already like, what, 3 hours into the stream? So I think we'll call it a wrap for today on the React. And we'll fire up a bit of Psychonauts and get into that. Because I am really excited to get into Psychonauts. I have not played Psychonauts in a long time, and it is a really good game. So let me do this. Let me just run to the bathroom really quick, because I have been sitting here for 3 hours. Let me run to the bathroom. Yeah, those early 2000s piracy adverts. Yeah, yeah, a ton of those on your DVDs. Yeah, and I remember eventually it just became like those FBI warnings. Well, it was just like a big FBI warning screen. But, oh wait, it's not. I don't have it on Steam. I have it on GOG. Alright, Psychonauts. Cool. Alright, give me just a minute, chat, and I will be right back. And we'll finally play some Psychonauts. Alright, chat, I am back. And we're going to play some Psychonauts, finally. Which I'm sure everyone's looking forward to. Alright, hopefully this launches without issues. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Drag it. Sounds like you can hear the game, but you can't see it. I don't know what's going on with that. Should be captured. I don't know what's going on here. I wonder if it's just OBS being weird. Because it worked when I actually tested this and it did work earlier. There we go, finally. Eesh. I hate it when OBS does that, when it's just like super slow to capture something. It's just such a pain, you know? But alright. It's time to do some basic braining chat. There's a boy Raz. You know, I always love this main menu. It's just such a cool way to do a menu. So continue. We're going to do new game.
The human mind. 600 miles of synaptic fiber. 5.5 ounces of cranial fluid. 1,500 grams of complex neural matter. A 3-pound pile of dreams. But I'll tell you what it really is. It is the ultimate battlefield. And the ultimate weapon. The wars of this modern age, the psychic age, are all fought somewhere between these damp, curvaceous undulations.
Also, let me know how the audio is, chat, if it's too low or too high.
Psychic soldiers, paranormal paratroopers, mental marines who are about to ship out on the adventure of their lives. This is our beachhead, and this is your landing craft. You shall engage the enemy in his own mentality. You shall chase his dreams. You shall fight his demons. You shall live his nightmares. And
live his nightmares.
You, fight well, you will find yourselves on the path to becoming international secret agents. In other words, Psychonauts. The rest of you will die.
I like I was telling it to a bunch of kids.
Oh, Maury.
Children, you are not going to die.
Well, if you're not a psychonaut, then you might as well be dead.
They told me this was a summer camp. Dogan. Don't worry about old Coach Oleander. I've been coming here for years, and trust me, nothing ever happens.
Yeah, Dogan, Lily's right. You don't got nothing to worry about.
AO is not good.
Except for that giant monster in the lake I was telling you about.
Bobby Zilch, I told you to stop scaring people with that ridiculous old legend. I don't want the kids to be afraid to go out at night and walk alone on the perfectly safe paths of Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp. And we don't want to scare our special guests, superstar Psychonauts Sasha 9 and Mia Vodello.
Dogan always cracks me up.
interesting.
You had to unfollow a SpongeBob page on Facebook because they were memeing on Dean Cain joining Ice. Good riddance. Yeah, I hate it when these like. I hate it when like
Just a little boy.
meme pages that are
your
supposed to just be
name, darling?
fun memes get all political. It's like it's just supposed to be fun. Not everything has to be some big political thing. Although I still don't really understand the whole Dean Cain joining Ice thing.
Is Rasputin. But everybody calls me Raz.
Please don't kill us, lake monster!
Compelling. Armored like a tank.
Sorry I'm late. I don't want to disrupt your briefing, Agent Oleander. Agents 9, Vodello, please, continue.
Fracture's been seeing that with some comic fan groups.
Where do you think you're going?
Yeah, well,
Into a highly classified remote government
Fracture, the comic fan groups have been infiltrated for a long time.
Listen.
It's all like woke, normie people who just kind of
How's it going?
gobble up whatever slop is
We
put in
need to
front of
have
them.
this young man taken from here immediately.
I'll call his parents.
What? But don't you train Psychonauts here?
Yes, darling. But
to soar across the astral plane, to wage psychic warfare against the enemies of free thought.
That is what I wrote on
But I still don't know the whole Dean Cain joining Ice thing. Is that
Words are why I'm here, Coach.
when they say he's joining Ice?
Do you remember what you wrote on the inside?
Is he actually going out and like deporting people, or is this just like a publicity stunt?
But the people around you treat it like a curse. Your mother is afraid
It's also
of you.
tiresome. Plus, their
and
groups are
your
just appearing
father
repeat. Yeah,
looks
yeah, I
at
get
you
that too.
with
Fractured.
shame in his
I
eyes.
get that too.
Come to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, and you can show them all.
You downright muted the wrestling group you're in after
powers
Hulk
make you
passed.
a
Never seen so much
loner.
hatred really burned you out of the
An
community.
outcast.
Yep.
Circus
Yeah, I hear that, Slush. That's
But
just
in
one of the
this
reasons I
dojo,
barely use Facebook. I
this
pretty much
psychic
just have it
dojo,
to have it,
they make
like just
you
for the people that I'm connected to.
a hero.
Get that soldier a bunk.
now, darling, you can stay here for a few days until your parents come for you. But we can't let you participate in any paranormal training without your parents' consent. I'm sorry.
Wowie. You're so lucky. You get to go home soon.
Home? Back there, I was just like you were, Dogen. Punished by my own family for having powers I never asked for. But here, I have a chance to be something. To make a difference. They may come for me, Dogen. But they'll be looking for Raz, the boy. What they're going to find, what they don't expect, is Raz, the Psychonaut.
And then you'll make their heads explode?
No. Do you do that?
No. Well, once kinda. But now I wear this special hat. Wanna try it on?
No.
But
Dogen
he has
cracks me
mental
up.
defenses like I've never seen in someone so young.
You think he's legit part of
If I
them?
could
Saw
just
some
get
pictures
him
of
in
him
my
out and gear
lab
with
for
their
some
agents.
experiments. I'm sure he could withstand more than the others.
That kid's 1 in a million, Nine.
It's possible, but I don't know. A lot of time, especially after what we've seen with, you remember the Epstein files, I just tend to think a lot of this stuff is publicity stunts. So I just tend to be very skeptical these days. All right. All right. Box available. Yeah, I'll just make a new one. Right, Raz is good.
All right, settle down in here. Big day tomorrow.
Just about to sleep and Oleander comes in
Every
yelling.
one of you runs in my classroom at 0600 hours on the dot. I'm the early bird, and you're the worms. Got it? Now, lights out.
I like Dean, but I can't help think of when Steven Seagal joined a police force, busted what he thought was a cockfighting ring. It was a farm and accidentally killed a puppy. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
quick eye exam before we start. Huh? Look over that way, if you will.
Wow, what's that?
Oh, that's a Psi challenge marker. The staff scatters these all over the camp to test the students. Every one of these you find advances you a whole rank.
Uh-huh.
Now look up for me, if you will. Some of the old markers have fallen apart. You'll find bits of them flapping around loose. If you
Word is
find enough
hilarious.
of these Psi cards, you can put them together to make a brand new
Yeah,
challenge
so
marker. But you have to buy a Psi
the Steven
core at the camp
Steven
store
Seagal
to
stuff
hold
is
them
always hilarious.
together.
Slush.
Keep ranking up, and
Like
before
he's done
you
a
know
ton
it,
of stuff
you'll
that is
be able to
absolutely
use brand new
ridiculous.
psychic powers. Stuff you didn't even know you could do.
And then when do I become a
But I mean, the thing about
Because I have to do that before my
killing a
dad
puppy,
shows up to take
that
me
sounds
home.
pretty on brand for the police.
go?
So,
That guy looks so familiar.
but yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm thinking of. Either that, or it, like literally just a publicity stunt. They just had him, take some photos with agents all dressed up in gear, and then that's about it.
Hey, Raz! Hurry up! You don't want to be late for basic braining!
Woohoo! Basic braining is the best class ever! Woohoo!
Probably look around a bit before we head to basic braining. He's on SS talking about it recently. You'll have to see if it was legit or not. Anything can be a work in this day and age, sadly. Yeah.
Oh, can't see anything.
So she's saying he was on side scrollers?
Stupid lame people.
That's a pretty big get for him.
And by worse, did you possibly
I
mean
am
the best?
definitely
Because that's
going
what I was
to
thinking.
need. No, I meant worst. As in, I can't even believe we're friends. It's so bad. I'm telling you for the last time, no. I would never do that. I could never kill everyone. Oh, Raz.
Squirrel trouble?
They're liars is all. Whatever they tell you, it's a lie.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, Slush.
Class?
Yeah, I'll meet you up there. As soon as I get these guys to shut up.
You going to class?
Yeah, I'll meet you up there. As soon as I get these guys to shut up.
Blew up the squirrels. Nice. Yeah, I know this game's a bit of a collectathon, so there's gonna be some of that. But yeah, this is way better than the sequels. You remember G4 covering, interesting. You remember G4 covering, Psychonauts? It's pretty neat. I don't think I had G4 when I was a kid, so... Arrowheads. Oh, absolutely fractured. The at least the first one. So this specific game, absolutely, it is worth playing, especially if you don't mind a little bit of the collectathon thing. But the sequel, not so much. Which is a shame, because I was really excited for Psychonauts 2. But yeah, Psychonauts 2 is not very good. Like, gameplay and everything is fine, but, huh. Okay, didn't expect to end up back down here. Yeah, Psychonauts 2, just like the writing is not very good. Some of it is, but, you know, part of it is that, like right from the beginning of this game, Raz is kind of...
Frozen solid.
Oh.
It looks like it's completely frozen in a big block of ice.
Guess I'll come back. Like, right from the beginning of Psychonauts, Raz is kind of this, you know, gifted wonder kid, so to speak. But, in Psychonauts 2, they pretty much completely undo all of that. Which, it just kind of ruins the story for me. And there's also a bit of wokeness in there and all that, so... But yeah, as Slosh said, the first game is absolutely Tim Schafer's masterpiece.
I am definitely
Vandalizing camp property will result in immediate expulsion from the facility.
Let's see what else we want to look around at.
You know that cabin is empty, right? Duh. I'm practicing for tonight, when it's gonna be full of ladies. That kind of thing takes practice? Excuse me, but my parents let me watch R-rated movies, so I think I know a little bit more about this than you do, okay?
He's clearly an expert, chat. Oh, this game is from, what, 2005? 2004? It's pretty old. So, yeah, there's no danger of any Gamergate discussion in this game at all. Fractured. He was Orson Welles, one great piece of art, and the rest was just canned peas. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with Orson Welles. No, I'm thinking of H.G. Wells. Because H.G. Wells had a bunch of stuff, but... Orson Welles pretty much just did the, he just did the reading of War of the Worlds. That's all I know about him.
The rest of camp is off limits until you have a basic braining merit badge. Now get!
He did Citizen Kane, okay. Okay, interesting. I only ever knew Orson Welles as the guy who did the reading, the famous reading of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds.
You, new boy. Seen bear lurking in woods?
Nope.
Positive. Giant, hairless bear?
Nope.
In Russia, bears much smaller. Also more hair. Less lurking. Always eager to wrestle. This one, hide and run.
I'll let you know if I see anything.
Cannot lurk forever, bear.
Alright. Yeah, that's the one, Slash. The one that supposedly caused mass panic, but I think it was like the mass panic thing was actually a story. Like it was made up. Cool.
Can anybody hear me?
What? Oh, come on. And then fizzled out, did some commercials, passed away in the 80s. Yeah. Yeah, that happens to a lot of people. Oh, there we go.
Hey, where you going, Maloof? Shh, I snuck
out. That class is a death trap for crazy people. Listen, the coach is strong. At the start of class, he pulls you into his mind, and then there's nothing you can do about it. But once you're in, you can use these smelling salts to sneak out. Take mine. I don't need them anymore. I'm calling my parents to come get me before I get hurt.
Too late!
Bobby! Ah!
Hey, kid! You owe me 5 arrowheads for this week's protection service.
Cough it up, my loser. Or you'll be coughing up bloody tea.
These two are so
Hey,
annoying.
leave him alone.
I heard a rumor you were raised in the circus. Well, let me put this in terms you'll understand.
This broccoli-headed kid was ahead of the curve.
Strong man around here.
He looks just like a real Zoomer.
Because you look more like the cotton candy.
Benny, put this kid's death on my to-do list.
Come on, we'll see him in class.
Yeah, we'll settle this on the battlefield.
Do that in a bit. I want to... I think there's a card we missed that I want to pick up. Oh, here we go. Psychor. Nice. Oh, here's that last one. Or something? Alright, now I think we can go to training. It's the time to head to basic braining.
They seem to all be in a trance while they astrally project themselves into the coach's psyche, which is awesome. Coach Oleander, I'm reporting for basic braining.
Son, do you realize that to take my course, I will have to pull you into my mind, and you will have to relive every bullet-scarred memory of every battle I have ever faced. It won't be pretty. Are you sure you wouldn't rather run around a bit more in the sunshine first?
I'm ready.
I'm ready, sir.
Well then... You're late, soldier. Now get in here and give me 20.
So, this is it. The mental world.
It looks like a dentist office.
A mental dentist office.
It's a recruiting office, kids, and I'm here to recruit you for the greatest job in the world, being a psychonaut. It's about fighting a war for mental freedom. Are you ready to face torture, insanity, and death? Because this is your last chance to chicken out.
Oh, me, sir. I'd like to chicken out, please.
Too late, soldier.
But you said...
There's only one way out of here. Fighting. I want one of you chickens to sock me square in the jaw. I warn you, once you do, the war is on. You're not gonna get another chance like this, I guarantee it. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go, go, go!
Charge!
What kind of obstacle course is this? That kid just got killed.
A mental obstacle course, you bleeding heart. He's not dead. His astral projection just got kicked out of my mind. And I'll kick your astral projection out of here too if you don't get moving right now.
Sandy? Chomp. Just turn up my screen brightness here. It's a very dark game. Or at least this part of it is. There we go.
Relax. That's just a figment of my imagination. You can run right through figments. They help you rank up, and when you rank up, you earn new psychic powers. So whenever you see a figment, suck it up, soldier. Come on, get that figment.
Nice.
Be a figgy piggy. Who's Coach's little piggy? Oink, oink, oink. Hey, what are you staring at? We all have emotional baggage, kid. Why don't you make yourself useful? Sort some of it out while you're in here. Keep your eyes peeled for a tag that matches. Could be anywhere.
The tag's right here, so that should be easy.
There it is. Now, you will pick up that tag and you will put it on that bag you just found. Unless you'd rather just drop and give me 20 right now. You hit that ladder hard, son. Show it who's boss.
Well, should probably get back to the bag first. Hey, we did it. We made the tag. We made the bag happy. All right, let's head up the ladder. See what we can find. See a tag down there. That should come in handy. Whatever this stuff is. Oh, missed a figment.
Move, move, move!
Alright, so another pull.
Watch out! Fire down below!
I hope I don't burn. There we go. This is good.
We can't get past this! This is stupid!
Looks like a test. There's probably a secret, more advanced route.
What's that supposed to mean? You think you're more advanced than me, new kid?
Sorry, what?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid. The coach is stupid. The whole camp is stupid. That thing flying at you is stupid.
What's flying at me? Whoa!
Bobby dumped his foot, that's what! You stupid new kid! Yeah!
Oh. Thanks for saving me.
Well, actually, I was saving this plant.
Never seen one so meaty before.
I have. It's been appearing in this creepy nightmare I keep having.
You're having nightmares? Oh, I've been reading about how to fix those. Will you let me see one?
No.
We actually do want to head down there for a bit. What's that? Specified route. Okay, well, guess that's where we'll be going in a bit. We do want...
Come on, one nightmare.
Nope.
Dang, my bowels move more than you do, Pokey!
I want to see if we can find the tag, or the bag for that pink tag we just picked up first. We'll take the secret route in a bit. Actually, no, why don't we just take the secret route first?
Dang, my move more than you do, Pokey.
Doesn't these fall if you sit on them for too long? Alright. And we made it. I don't know where we made it, but we made it. Use the mouse. Turn the brightness up. Save.
Less waiting, more motivating.
It's so dark, I can't even see where I'm supposed to go. That helped a little bit. Oh, maybe jump up. Oh, okay, jump up.
You're like molasses going uphill in January with crutches.
Let me see if there's another bag here somewhere. I'm guessing probably not. Okay, yeah, no, I don't think there's one here. I do want to find the bag the tag goes to.
Is your name Joey?
No.
Because I'm gonna call you Slowy Joey.
That's not my name.
What was that, Slowy? I can't hear ya. You're talking too slow.
Almost there.
Less waiting, more motivating.
There we go. Something down here. Something here. Oh, here we go. We found the bag. Nice.
Dang, my bowels move more than you do, Pokey.
Stop. Okay. Bigness here. Green thing.
Mentalis uberalis.
It's so hard to see where I'm going with this.
Now that kind of wall, you can climb it up, down, sideways, whatever way you want. Just get on it. Quick, like a monkey.
Blowing up parts of the wall.
Hey, slow down, kid. If you pass me or Bobby, you'll make us look bad. And Bobby will pound you deaf. Bobby, can you hear me? Where are you? Don't leave me alone out here, Bobby. I'm frightened. I'm frightened.
What a loser.
Watch those mines, kid. They'll blow you up like a 10-cent kazoo.
Hey, Dogen, what's wrong?
I keep blowing up.
Follow me. I'll help you through the mines.
Okay.
Alright. Maybe you should be a little careful when
I
it follows
can't
me.
do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, you got blown up. Of course.
Yes, you can, Dogen. Just follow me.
Okay.
I like every time he just goes, okay. Let's try here, maybe this way. Just kind of gotta shimmy through.
I can't
here.
do it. I can't.
Yes, you can, Dogen. Just follow me.
Okay.
Keep following me. And alright. Now it should be easy.
I can't do it.
Yes, you can, Dogen. Just follow me.
Okay. I can't do it.
Follow me. I'll help you
You'll
through the
have
mines.
plenty of time
Okay.
to stand around when
Look,
you're dead.
Raz, I didn't explode at all.
Good
We
hustle
did
out
it.
there.
Hey. This is for helping me out. Okay, bye.
Nice. Let's do a little saving.
Move, move, move! The plane's going down, soldier. Hit that door and Geronimo!
Hey, no one told me to pack a chute.
Did Washington have a chute when he crossed the Delaware? Just jump, sissy!
Well, I guess we're all going to die. My whole life is flashing before my eyes.
Is there like a climax to this story?
Didn't I mention the gopher yet? Thought I hit that. Okay, let me start over. First, and then I gave Lady a bone.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna jump out.
Hey, look! It's Raz!
Yay! Raz is here!
Yeah! Maybe you'll be able to beat this darn game. We can't do it.
Yeah, we're no good. And the coach won't open the gate until someone wins.
Yay, Raz! Just punch that to start.
Quickness first, and then let's see what this thing does.
You score enough points on this course, kid, and I'll give you a reward.
Punch, punchy, punch, punch! Yay, Raz!
Alright, so you just gotta hit bad targets.
Punch, Raz, punch!
Punchy, punch, punch!
Simple enough.
Raz! Punch, Raz, punch!
Punch! Hooray! Punch, punch, punch!
Punch, punch, punch! Punch! Hooray!
Punch, punchy, punch, punch!
Punch, punchy, punch, punch!
Punch, punch, punch! Punch, punchy, punch, punch!
Yay, Raz! Punch! Hooray!
Yay, Raz!
Hey, good job, soldier. Now here's your reward.
He just blew him up. What other prizes we got? Baby. The babies? Hey, we did it. Okay, so I just get some arrowheads. Well, I think that's enough of that. So let's just keep going.
Most people, they got something to hide. They store away their shame, their dirty little secrets, in these tiny vaults in their minds. But the enemy is not allowed any secrets in wartime, are they, soldier? So go ahead and bust open this vault. I got nothing to hide. Ah, good. You enjoy that. One of my favorites.
That's handy. I think we're good here. Keep going. Well, I lost some help doing that, but we're good. Oh, we got a little health back. That's good. Around like that. Getting another tag. Not sure what bag it goes to though. Let's pick up everything we missed really quick, and then we'll. I think we go in the tank thing. I guess that's what it looked like to me. I'll just pick up this last figment. And there we go. Alright, so let's head up to the cannon and we'll just jump in. Yeah, there we go. Oh,
Yeah!
Bobby.
Classic Zilch!
There. Oh yeah, this part is so trippy because they changed the whole gravity perspective on you. Jump in.
You can grab poles like that and swing on them. It's all about upper body strength, you know?
Yeah. Flip. Hey, we did it. Oh, and there's the bag. Nice. I think we want this one. Made it. Where do we go now? Uh-oh. Oh, maybe find this thing? No. Wonderful. Oh, okay.
Hold it
Guess I
right
just had to
there,
hit it.
boy. That's a mental cobweb. You can collect them with a specialized piece of equipment once you get checked out on it. Till then, just steer clear of them.
Cobweb duster would be nice, but we don't have it yet. So we just need to get up here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Come on. That's one of the annoying things with 3D platforming is like the perspective. Yeah, the perspective always throws you off on 3D platforming. That's like one of those things that just always annoys me when I'm trying to do 3D platforming stuff. Finally. There we go.
Onward and up! As you can see, the trapeze is very difficult. Most cadets can't handle it. You might just want to stay away from it. You'd still get a participation ribbon at the end of camp.
Pick up some of these figments first. Go.
You're like molasses going uphill in January with crutches.
So we gotta get up to that next. There we go. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with this, but okay.
It's game day, kid!
So I guess we need to get on this platform here. I guess we go down.
Dang, my bowels move more than you do, Pokey!
Seems right. And
Hey, kid!
oh, come on.
You'll have plenty of time to stand around when you're dead.
I guess that didn't get us far enough last time. It was very weird. There we go. Jeez.
Ha, sucker! See you at the bottom.
These are kind of fun.
Dang, my bowels move more than you do, Pokey!
End of the line, sucker! Oh!
Nice. Almost there. I wonder where that plastic bag was, though, because we got a tag, but we don't have a bag to give it to.
Ah, the old rolling tunnel of crazy logs bit. An old one, but a hard one. What you gotta do is... ah, who we kidding? You're never gonna make it through that.
This way. This bit has all sorts of weird perspective shifts. Oh no, the whole thing is just rotating. Let's see. Alright. That's a confusing mess. Just go back this way. Yeah, okay, that looks right. Alright, almost there. And... hey, we did it. We did it, chat.
Hello? Hello? Guess I'm early.
Interesting, there's no one here. Oh, what's this?
Hold it right there, son! Now just what in the Sam Hill do you think you're doing in there?
I was just looking for a way out.
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't think you'd get to the end so fast. Dang, I didn't think you'd get to the end at all. You surprised me out there, kid. Here, you've earned this. Your first Psychonaut merit badge.
Yay!
But I'm always glad to see a soldier come back from the field alive. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go back in. I left some good men back there.
Alright, we did it, chat. We made it through basic braining.
You're in trouble now. Bobby Zilch ain't happy.
You better watch yourself, Gogglelicious.
What's that, hair boy? You want a piece of me?
Hey, Brainiacs, settle down.
Why? You worried I'm gonna hurt your boyfriend?
No, because Sasha 9 is standing right behind you.
Your performance, young cadet, was outstanding. I'd like you to report to my lab for some advanced training.
Ooh, Raz the Spaz is gonna be in a special class. Benny, remind me to give him a special beating later, okay?
These tests are unauthorized, though, so I can't actually ask you to come. But if you happen to drop in, well, what could I do? Let me just give you this. Remember, your talent will always set you apart, Rasputin. Sometimes isolation is a good thing. It can lead to important discoveries.
Wait! I don't even know what your lab is! Is this some kind of test?
Sometimes isolation is a good thing. It can lead to important discoveries.
And now I'm hearing things. Great. You know where this button is from, Coach?
Hey, you stole a button from the geodesic psycho-isolation chamber!
No, I didn't. Bobby Zilch gave it to me.
Should have known. That kid spends more time in the cooler than in school. Reminds me of myself when I was his age. Well, go put it back.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coach, where is the G?
Don't you know how to use your map?
Right, yes, sorry.
Right, let's see, journal, map. Ah, here's the map. Alright, well, that tells us where we need to go. Alright, chat.
No, I don't. This is the button that Sasha gave me. It's a clue to the location of his secret lab.
Oh, nice. Now for us to pick up some arrowheads. Yeah, let's head to the middle of camp and see what's going on.
No passing.
But I need to get to Sasha 9's secret lab.
Maybe you should have thought of that before.
I did think of that before. That's why I'm here now.
Exactly. Now you gotta pay the toll. 1 arrowhead. Pay up.
I found this thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that's an arrowhead.
How'd they get here?
Frankie, the new kid can't be this dumb, right? The camp's built on an Indian burial ground and...
Oh my gosh! Indians buried their dead here?
Ew! I hope not. No, stupid. They buried their arrowheads here. They're hidden underground, but they let out a little gas once in a while. Just like Coach Oleander. So if you see any of that stuff, just pull them right out. Like truffles. Anyway, let me have one of yours.
Oh, that was annoying.
Vandalizing camp property
But
will
they are
result
girls, so
in immediate expulsion from the
guess that makes
facility.
sense.
Whoa there, you. Come here, you. Can't do the
Good old
scavenger hunt
Ford.
without a list. Report back to me when you have enough items for your first promotion. Now get!
Oh yeah, this collectathon was always something.
So where do I... Hey, where'd he go? How does that old guy get around so fast? I'll let you know if I see anything.
Cannot lurk forever. There, Mikhail.
Russian
will find
kid.
you.
I think we want to check out this place first. Yeah, this is it. Check out like the main camp. What is the mess hall? Lodge. That's what they call it. Yeah, this is a good place to check out. That's where the camp store and stuff is.
Hey, where are you stopping? Oh, I thought you stopped. No, 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 no. Let's go.
Hey, you guys are good.
Thanks, man. Hey, do you have a lighter? Cause if you lit it and held it up right now, that would be rad. And completely insensitive to me and my issues. Oh, right. Oh, never mind. I forgot about the whole fire bad thing for a moment. Sorry, my bad. Not to worry, my bro. Let's just pick it up from the part where I do that thing.
That's the TV room. This room will become very important later. Let's talk to Ford.
Hey, Phoebe, can I ask you a question?
Excuse me.
I told you the burgers ain't ready.
No, you didn't.
The coals ain't hot. They're not gonna be done for a while. Maybe a week.
A week?
They're back ordered. I'm the only one back here. These things take time.
I don't even want a hamburger.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? So, what do you want? Oh, that's my last cobweb duster. Take that into someone's mind with you. You can clean up. They're happy to be rid of the webs, and you can turn them in for psi cards. Now with that, you can change the color of some of your psi powers, like your levitation ball and what have you.
They clearly
and
don't
whatnot.
have enough money for
Well,
any of
kind
this.
of a vanity thing. You know, in my day,
Arrowheads.
psi powers were all gray, and we thought that was grand. We were happy just to have psi powers. But you know kids these days. Now here's something every young psi cadet needs.
Oh, that mental magnet
Now
is
that
really useful.
dowsing rod will help you find arrowheads that are... Now, you take that psi core there. Dream fluffs. Now,
The first thing we want is this
dowsing
dowsing
will help
rod.
you find
That's it for
arrowheads
now.
that are...
We need to double our
Go get more
arrowheads.
arrowheads.
Well, we'll look for arrowheads later. So, I think, chat, we went through basic braining, and it is already pretty late. We've been streaming for almost 4 hours. So, yeah, I agree, Slosh. It's just such a charming game. You're just running around, camp, having fun, doing cool stuff. Yeah, and exactly, I miss games like this. I miss this, like, style of gameplay. This game has no difficulty settings, by the way. Like, I miss games like this, where you don't care if it's easy or hard, it's just fun. But, yeah, so much charm. Now everything's either quirky or just annoying. Or it takes itself too seriously. But, yeah, so I think we will call it a day here. So, I want to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for being here, chat. Lovely as always. That was a great React segment we did earlier. Lots of fun having you guys around. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe and all that stuff, because it helps the channel and whatnot. So, would always appreciate it. Hey, thank you for being here, Wingus. Always nice to have people hanging out. Well, thank you, Fractured. I appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll probably be hanging out on the Melee Madness thing later tonight. Thanks, Slosh. You too. Yeah, thanks, Snap. Appreciate you being here. Been playing guitar. Nice. Well, hope you played some good music. But yeah, so I'll probably be hanging out in the Melee Madness podcast chat tonight and all that. So, check that out and whatnot. Yeah, great streaming. Hope you guys like the game. Hope you guys like the reaction. We'll probably pick up Psychonauts again because I've been dying to get back into it. It's been so long. But yeah, with that, I will say goodbye and thank you all for being here.